I was a jobless orphan on Blue Star, with nothing but bad luck and a cheap orphanage pendant, when humanity was dragged onto the Star Rhine continent and I woke as lord of a straw hut with 10 villagers, told only to survive. But that pendant I had carried my whole life was a star core, and the moment I fused it, my territory stopped being a hut and started becoming a world, handing me the SSS Azure Orchid Guard and a star bloodline. While other lords scraped for a single soldier, my hut snowballed into Hanhei City, first on the regional leaderboard. The unluckiest orphan alive had been handed a world. Quick favor before we dive in, hit like and subscribe. It makes a real difference for the channel. How did I end up here? Let me take you back to the very first day. A voice welcomes me to the Star Rime continent, calling it a world of infinite possibilities where each of us will begin a legend as a lord. It tells me I can conquer everything, live a quiet life, or cultivate toward ascension. But first I have to survive. And then it announces that my territory has been generated and granted a 30-day protection period, during which nothing can attack me, so I had better develop fast. I open my eyes slowly and find myself lying on a hard bed under a roof of wood and straw, the smell of dry grass in my nose reminding me with every breath that this place is real. So I have transmigrated. Maybe I'm the protagonist of some novel now, destined to conquer the world. Then everything goes dark in front of me, and a flood of basic knowledge about this world pours straight into my brain. It is a vast, boundless continent where 10,000 races live side by side, drowning in danger and opportunity in equal measure. And we exist here as lords commanding endless kinds of troops, pets, and heroes. 100 schools of thought all blooming at once. A half-transparent screen settles into my vision, full of options I can pull up or hide at will. And among them I count personal information, territory information, the world channel, the regional channel, and the trading hall. The system pings and congratulates me on discovering a star core, asking whether I want to perform the fusion. While I'm still puzzling over what that means, the pendant on my chest glows cyan and floats up on its own. I grew up in an orphanage with nothing to my name, and this pendant is the one possession I have carried my whole life, so it can't be a bad thing to bond with it, and I confirm yes. The system tells me the fusion is complete and my territory has transformed. Then that my territory's restrictions are lifted, and it now holds the potential to become a world. And finally that I have obtained one Azure Orchid Guard, rank SSS. None of that means anything to me yet, so I poke at personal information instead. The panel lays me out plainly. I'm John Woo, my profession listed as Child of Stars, my bloodline the Star Bloodline, my rank sitting at 1. My single talent is luck, which the note explains as some unknown blessing of heaven and earth that simply makes me luckier than everyone else. And I have no cultivation technique to my name. The 3 skills are where it gets interesting. Star Battle Body burns star power to lift every physical attribute at once, and can even pour that power into my gear to make it hit harder. Meteor Fall spends the star power in my body to drop a massive meteor on an enemy, the size of the boom scaling with how much I feed it. Decomposition Ray can break down anything at all, again depending on how much I pour in. The note adds that thanks to my star bloodline, the energy in my body converts into star power automatically. After all of that, my equipment is a novice set and my backpack holds 100 slots. Everything in here is wrapped in stars, which must be the change that came from fusing with the star core. I tap over to territory information. My territory is called Wu Village, and the panel notes I can rename it. I'm the lord, the rank is 1, and the whole place is a square 100 meters on a side. The population is 10 counting any soldiers, and right now I have exactly 0 soldiers, though 10 territory citizens can be refreshed daily. The spiritual chi concentration reads 100. My buildings amount to a lord's mansion, 200 sections of fence, 5 cottages and 4 plots of farmland, with the territory characteristic not yet unlocked. For wealth I have 100 copper coins, 20 wood, 20 stone, and 20 food, 300 slots of storage, and a prosperity index of 10. Nothing jumps out as special, and I can't tell if that's just because my rank is too low. I open the world channel next and it nearly knocks me over. Billions of people are screaming into one feed at once, the messages climbing past 999 in a blink. Somebody demands to know where this is and whether they transmigrated too. Stunned, they aren't the only protagonist. Somebody jokes it's a 5-star scenic resort with a river, paradise for anglers. Somebody panics about a rhinoceros outside that would flatten their thatched cottage in seconds. Somebody declares his ambition to gather 3,000 beauties. A man cries out for his wife Yuyan to answer. A child types that he's Soyu looking for his mother. And a chain of people compares their talent draws. One bragging about a 1 in 10,000 C rank. A third just typing that he's F rank and saying nothing more. The free post limit explains the flood and the silence both. In the world channel you can post once a day for free and pay 100 copper coins for a second, while the regional channel is free and unlimited as long as you don't repeat yourself. With humanity's whole population dumped into the world channel, it refreshes far faster than any regional channel, where each region only holds 10,000 people. Watching all my fellow countrymen spam their fear into the void, I feel a little less alone. I glance at my own talent again. It doesn't even show a rank, but the name alone sounds high-end. I had no parents and no family, just the orphanage, then a university degree last year and a job hunt that went nowhere, and it was at that low, washed-out point in my life that I landed here. Maybe a new world means a new start. My luck was rotten on Blue Star, but the moment I crossed over, the system handed me a talent literally named luck. I sit up, look at the falling apart straw sandals by the bed, then down at the rags I'm wearing and notice the gaping hole in the seat of my pants showing bare skin underneath. This is too miserable. The system kindly informs me the novice set is black iron grade, tattered starter gear offering the most basic coverage and almost no defense. The system is too realistic for its own good. Couldn't it spring for slightly better starter clothes given that I'm a lord? The world's gear runs through 10 grades, the system tells me, from black iron at the bottom up through bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, transcendent, epic, legendary, and finally mythical. And my novice set is the very trashiest black iron there is. Right, there was that SSS rank thing too. The system reminds me I've obtained the SSS rank barracks, the Azure Orchid Guard. Barracks come in their own ladder, F through E, D, C, B, A, S, SSS, each rank setting how far the soldiers it produces can climb, from first tier up to 9th tier. Soldiers from rank 10 to 19 are first tier, 20 to 29 are second tier, 30 to 39 are third tier, and so on, while a fresh troop type starts at rank 1. Below rank 10 they're so weak they have no tier at all. My Azure Orchid Guard, the panel adds, costs far less to use than it should for reasons unknown. In SSS rank, potential barracks is no small thing, because on the Star Rime continent, military strength is the only truth that matters. The gap between tiers is brutal, a higher tier soldier crushing a lower tier 1. 1 fighting 10, without exaggeration, and every tier a troop breaks through is a qualitative leap in power. Within the same tier, the differences between troops are far gentler. The ceiling of a troop type is chained to the potential of the barracks that made it, so a soldier from an F-rank barracks tops out around rank 19 first tier, and basically can never break into rank 20 second tier. To push past that you need either some heaven and earth treasure, or a better barracks entirely, which is exactly why the quality of your barracks decides the whole foundation of your territory. Seeing my barracks rank feels like winning 5 million on a lottery scratch-off. Usually a higher quality barracks costs more to summon from, but mine slashes its own costs on top of everything else. I pull on the broken sandals and push the door open. Outside, the sun is bright, and the trees throw shade over an open yard ringed by fence, a row of crumbling thatched cottages on the left, and a few collapsed building ruins on the right. Past the fence lies a forest with a small river drifting along its edge, blue-gray mountains hazy in its depths, and the occasional roar of some beast carrying out of the trees. 10 people stand at the entrance, all dressed like dirt-poor commoners. The panel reads off the man in front as Lee Bugwee, potential D rank, position village chief, his loyalty at 80 and rank at 1, carrying an elementary proficiency in political affairs and a morale boost skill. Behind him stand villagers like Taejang and Iogu, both F potential with no skills at all, and the rest much the same. So this is my starting foundation. Lee Bugui steps forward and bows to me as Lord, the 4 villagers behind him bowing too, and I wave a hand and ask the village chief to walk me through our situation. He rises and explains slowly that we are a small village in a remote corner of the Star Rime continent, that a beast tide some time ago left only 10 of us alive, and that it damaged most of our functional buildings, the blacksmith shop and the rest, leaving only a few patched-up farmhouses and the Lord's mansion standing. I look back at the thatched hut behind me. You call that a Lord's mansion? Well, we're completely destitute. And a beast tide means this place isn't safe either. I ask the village chief how we usually feed ourselves, and he tells me we gather wild fruit and hunt small animals like rabbits, that before the beast tide and with full manpower the village could bring down larger game, that we grow some grain in the farmland, and that nobody dares go deep into the forest, where the large beasts, the demonic beasts, and even dangerous races all live. I turn toward the ruins nearby, and the system labels them for me. A damaged barracks at F rank wanting 50 copper coins, 50 wood, and 50 stone to repair. A damaged blacksmith shop wanting wood, stone, and copper coins in the same 50s. A damaged tailor shop, and on down the list. Then I remember the barracks sitting in my backpack. I open it and take out a round jade stone, and the system asks whether I want to overwrite the damaged barracks nearby. I confirm. The jade lifts off my palm and drifts down onto the ruined foundation, soft light swallowing it whole, and a square, retro-styled building rises in its place. 10 meters tall, azure gold light flickering across its walls, while streams of something like lava trickle down from the top and seep into the ground. I glance from the barracks to my thatched hut and back. The Azure Orchid Guard, the panel tells me, has SSS potential at rank 1, troop strength 0 of 100. Summoning a soldier costs 100 copper coins, while training one costs 50 copper coins plus a single territory citizen. The introduction calls it the Imperial Guard of the Azure Orchid Empire from another dimension, with a very small chance of producing a hero unit, and once again the note swears my costs to use it are slashed for reasons unknown. Upgrading it will demand a rank 2 territory, 500 copper coins and 300 each of wood and stone. As before, potential is only the ceiling, not the present strength. An F-rank troop hard capped at rank 19, and a soldier slowly growing into its power as its rank climbs. I check my panel, 100 copper coins, all I have. I call 2 territory citizens into train, and the barracks washes over with a faint blue-gold glow before chiming that the training is done. The gate opens and 2 nimble warriors stride out in light armor, sabers at their hips and bows on their backs, clearly built to fight up closer at range. The panel names one of them Wang Mang, an Azure Orchid Guard Warrior at rank 1 with SSS potential and the Azure Orchid Bloodline Loyalty 100. He carries Advanced Sword Mastery and Advanced Archery Mastery, a Wind Element Affinity, and a skill called Fight to the Death that doubles his combat power when he's cornered, all of it wrapped over a novice set. Both warriors bow to me as Lord, and looking over the impressive pair, I tell them welcome aboard. I send the village chief off with the territory citizens to gather materials nearby and keep the 2 Azure Orchid guards with me to scout the village. The Lord's mansion reads as rank 1, 5 by 5 meters, defense 15, the foundation of the whole territory, upgradable for 2,000 each of stone, wood, and copper coins. The farmhouse is rank 1, 2 by 2, defense 3, a simple place for territory citizens to recover stamina and minor wounds. Beyond the fence, a transparent shield wraps the village, and the system explains I'm still in the novice protection period. The village absolutely safe for now, with 29 days, 23 hours and change left before attacks can come. Safe for at least a month. I press a hand against the shield, and it gives like a soap bubble, letting me pass right through. With no danger in sight, I take up the broken machete I started with, and walk out, the 2 Azure Orchid guards hurrying after me. Outside is grassland where rabbits hop and wild oxen graze. The rabbits ranked 1 and noted as the lowest, most timid wild monster. The wild oxen ranked 3, strong as anything and dumb as a post. A small river runs clear past an endless forest where unfamiliar birds call from the trees, and as I watch, an eagle drops out of the sky, snatches a rabbit in its talons, and climbs away. At my signal, Wang Mang draws his saber and flickers forward, slashing at a wild ox, which senses the threat and swings its head up to gore him. The saber meets the horn in a hard ring of impact, and Wang Mang flashes around behind it to cut its hind leg, the ox too slow to dodge, its leg buckling, and soon it goes down. The system congratulates me, telling me my territory citizen killed a rank 3 wild ox, and that he and I each gained experience, his 35 to my 5, 2 ribbons of white light sinking into our bodies as warmth spreads through me. Then it generates the loot and hands me 3 copper coins, 7 cuts of wild ox meat, 2 ox horns, 3 beast hides, and a horse-slaying saber of black iron grade. Equipment on the very first kill. My luck stat really is high. Just then the rest of the herd catches the danger and stampedes straight at Wang Mang, who dodges fast. But there are too many of them and they run too quick. So I call both Azure Orchid guards back inside the protective shield. The herd slams against the barrier, the impacts thudding one after another, but the shield bounces their horns off like a rubber ball, the oxen unable to break through and the shield doing them no harm in return. And after a while of futile fury, they drift away. I let out a long breath. If the oxen at my doorstep are this fierce against SSS ranked soldiers, how is anyone with F-rank troops supposed to live? I'm wrong about that though, because SSS is only the ceiling, my soldiers' actual rank is still low, and most of their power hasn't surfaced. At equal rank 1, SSS troops beat F troops, just not by the absurd margin I imagined. I rest the soldiers and open the world channel. Someone complains that after repairing his barracks he had only enough money left to train 1 soldier, asking how he's supposed to go to war with a single man. Someone else laments that his lone soldier got dragged off by a giant spider the instant he stepped out, wiping his whole army. A third gloats that he stumbled into a bronze treasure chest holding an E-rank barracks, and that nobody even uses F-rank barracks anymore, drawing a streamer begging him to gift it to her, and a skeptic warning that without meeting face-to-face nobody knows who's a cute girl and who isn't. Then one voice cuts through the noise to ask why everyone's so dumb. Why they don't just lure the monsters outside the shield and attack safely from within. And a flood of people realize they've been idiots and dash off. I smack my own forehead, call the Azure Orchid Guard over, and have them do exactly that, baiting monsters out and ducking behind the shield to strike, the kills rolling in one after another. I test my own ranged skill too, and it's powerful, though the star power drain isn't cheap. My novice set only came with a blade, and I'd kill for a bow. In no time the wild monsters lurking around the village are wiped clean. It's worth noting that monsters killed by territory citizens still drop loot, and if I'm not too far the loot flows straight into my backpack, but if I'm distant it becomes small glowing orbs the citizens collect. They can't appraise the orbs though. Only in my hands do they turn into real items. With nothing left nearby, I lead my 2 warriors farther out. At the river, the water runs clear to the bottom, only thumb-sized fish darting through it too small to bother with for food. A crude bridge of tree trunks spans the water, and across it the forest thickens, the wild monsters growing denser the deeper we go. A few wild oxen wait ahead, so both Azure Orchid guards draw their warblades and charge, and I draw mine and join them. I tested it earlier, that activating Star Battle Body lifts every attribute and makes me stronger even than the Azure Orchid guard, though it eats star power and can't run long, ideal for a quick burst. The kills pile up, and another black iron piece drops, a rusty shield, but black iron is barely worth keeping since my whole set is already black iron. I get smarter about it, only picking off lone monsters and ganging all three of us onto each one, and the loot keeps flowing. Deer meat and antlers from a spotted deer, scraps from a rabbit, and from a wild chicken, a bow at last, an iron wall bow. Now I can hang back and shoot. In this world, bows condense energy into arrows with no need for physical ammunition, and I can pour energy in to strengthen each shot. Before long, my copper coins pass 50, so I run back to the territory and train another warrior. Keep hunting. The system congratulates me on a black iron treasure chest, which I open happily, finding 25 copper coins and a pile of basic wood and stone. The coin's worth about 10 monsters worth of grinding. I keep killing, and a white light flashes as I hit rank 2. My body a touch stronger, my star power a little fuller. My 3 soldiers level 2, and once I've saved enough, I run back and train a 4th. By dusk, I have 5 warriors, and I call an end to the hunt. I'm snowballing. The advantage only grows from here. Back at the territory's citizens have returned with a decent haul of basic materials and a good amount of food from hunting small game. The village chief's gathering crew bringing in no small amount either, probably riding my luck stat. I open the panel. Wu village still sits at rank 1, 100 meters square, population 10, but now 5 of them are soldiers, and my stores have ballooned to 254 wood, 156 stone, 356 food, the prosperity index ticking up to 12. Though copper coins have dropped to 15 after all that training. Li Bugui has already lit a bonfire and set a huge crude grill over it. Today's beef roasting away while he turns it and sprinkles something like salt and seasoning. The salt was traded off passing merchant caravans, he tells me, and the seasoning is local plants ground to powder, the aroma carrying from far off. The men sit around the fire eating and looking at these simple, guileless faces, remembering all the bitterness back on Blue Star, the endless scheming and backstabbing at the company. I decide this place isn't so bad. Wang Mang mentions the Azure Orchid Guard can cultivate on their own through a matching technique called the Azure Orchid Codex, just meditating at night. That's brutally hardcore, fighting and leveling by day, cultivating and leveling by night, around-the-clock grind. He adds that the barracks holds an inner space where the warriors normally live, so they need no extra housing, and that inside they get buffs to recovery and cultivation speed. After eating my fill, I wipe the grease from my mouth and slip into the thatched hut that passes for a lord's mansion, leaving the men to brag about the day's haul. Lying on the hard boards, I browse the trading hall. Someone's listed a worn shield of black iron for 23 copper coins, not cheap given that a wild monster only drops 2 or 3 coins. Even with my luck. Wood, stone, beef, and rabbit meat sit for sale. Food's still expensive at this stage because most lords find even the wild oxen at their doorstep too tough to hunt, and the starter food of 20 units never lasts against territory citizens who eat like horses. I'm sitting on 356 food, so I keep 100 and list the rest, and it sells off in waves for 512 copper coins, enough to train more soldiers. Somebody's even listed a novice set for 100 copper coins, probably after getting better gear, though everyone starts with one of those, so who would buy it? Then again, F-rank barracks soldiers only come with a single black iron weapon, so a lord might grab it to outfit his men. There's even someone selling water at 5 copper coins a unit, the kind of thing only a desert player would touch, since most villages spawn near a water source anyway. At the edge of a forest, France scratches at his head in a grass skirt, miserable. But one soldier he trained today got rammed dead by a wild ox the moment it left the shield, the herd outside too thick and his villagers worthless in a fight. They can only gather stone inside the barrier, and he has no money. He needs soldiers to handle the oxen, but soldiers cost copper coins, and copper coins only come from killing wild monsters he can't fight himself with his scrawny body, and even baiting them is suicide when he can't outrun them back to the shield. Feeling abandoned by God, he finally lists the only thing he can sell, his novice set, just to scrape together enough to train a soldier. I'm refreshing my panel and reading the chat, my only entertainment since crossing over, when the screen flickers with a friend request from Li Rinren. Li Rinren, could that be my old colleague? After graduation, I'd worked half a year at a small company, and Li Rinren had joined before me and looked out for me there, so I accept. She tells me it really is me, that she can't believe we landed in the same region, and indeed at this stage you can only add friends inside your own region. I greet her as Rinren, and ask how things are on her end, and she says there's a fruit forest near her she hasn't fully explored, packed with delicious fruit, and that she pulled a silver treasure chest today holding a D-rank barracks that produces elven archers, gorgeous ones. I have no words for that. Rubbing my face, swallowing a fresh wave of envy, I remember from years of reading novels that every elf comes out top tier in figure and face. Just then the friend channel flickers again with a request from Joe Ree, and I accept. He asks if it's me, Old Jong, and I greet him back as Old Joe, And through the chat I learned that people from the same area on Blue Star mostly end up in the same regional channel after transmigrating, which is how both Lee Rindran and Joe Ree landed near me. Joe Ree was my best friend at university, and we'd worked in the same city after graduation. He reminds me we literally saw each other 2 days ago, then brags that he drew a B-rank talent called Prosperous Population that doubles his territory's population cap. When I ask whether there even is a population limit, he calls me careless for not reading my panel, and I check again and confirm I have no such limit at all. Probably another change from the Star Core merging with my territory. He asks how my development's going and whether I need help, and I tell him I'm fine, that I got a luck talent, and he agrees luck is a good thing, mentioning that plenty of our old classmates are in this region and that he's started a group, offering to pull me in. There's a group function for adding friends together, but I beg off, reminding him I have social anxiety. And Joe Rye, knowing me, doesn't push it, just telling me to speak up if I need anything before going offline to get busy. The next morning I'm woken by birdsong, rubbing my aching back, the bare boards having left my whole body sore. I really need to find something soft to pad this bed. Opening the door I find Lee Boogwe simmering a meat soup, wild vegetables and yesterday's leftover meat floating in it, and I refresh the panel to summon today's 10 territory citizens. 2 of them come up D rank. Jang Mu noted as a blacksmith with basic blacksmithing mastery and Li Gi as a tailor with basic sewing mastery, while the rest, men like Yu Gong and Jang Ri, are plain F-rank villagers with no skills. Once I repair the shops, I can hand them the blacksmith shop and tailor shop. My copper coins can train 10 soldiers, so I send all 10 franc citizens into the barracks, since filling numbers by training first saves the 100 coin summon cost. The 2 methods identical in result, except that training burns a citizen. After a while, the 10 soldiers finish, and the system chimes that one of my territory citizens, Li Hual, has been promoted to a hero unit. A hero. Heroes belong to the barracks but count against neither its troop cap nor the territory's population. The panel reads Li Hual at level 1 SSS potential, Azure Orchid bloodline, loyalty 100. He carries top-tier blade and sword mastery and top-tier archery mastery, the Azure Orchid battle physique that lifts every attribute by burning his inner energy. Death struggle that triples his combat power when cornered, a wind blade that condenses wind into a cutting ranged strike, and command, which boosts the attack recovery and morale of any Azure Orchid guard he leads. Heroes are nothing like ordinary troops, the note adds, unbound by the barracks, able to keep breaking through forever, their ceiling set only by their own potential. On the Star Rhyme continent, both troops and heroes grow stronger with every level, because this is a real world. He's a 2-meter giant, cut from the same cloth as the Azure Orchid guard but more restrained, and he greets me as Lord, swearing he'll fight across the world for me. I look the burly man over, liking him more by the second despite his grim face, and clap his shoulder, telling him to ease up, that this is his home now, and to give me a smile. Li Hual freezes a beat, then forces out the most strained smile I've ever seen. After breakfast, I send the village chief out with the villagers to keep gathering and lead the Azure Orchid guard toward the woods myself. And honestly, compared to yesterday, I've got a bit of a lord's bearing today. There are only a dozen odd Azure Orchid guards, but with some scouting ahead, some guarding the flanks, and some at the rear, we cut an impressive figure. Inside the forest, the notifications never stop. A gibbon dead at level 4, a sika deer and a forest wolf falling to my citizens, copper coins and experience trickling in. If I remember right, wolves run in packs. A rustling rolls through the trees and pairs of green eyes flare in the distance. The Azure Orchid guards snap into formation around me, front rank drawing sabers, back rank knocking arrows, and as the pack closes my mood darkens. There are about 50 wolves, ranked between 4 and 5, and I have only 16 on my side at lower ranks, so we're at a clear disadvantage, and every Azure Orchid guard switches to sabers to meet them. Li Hual triggers his Azure Orchid battle body and charges, holding off 6 wolves at once, the others coordinating to hold the line. Ignoring Li Hual's protests, I activate Star Battle Body and wade in too. My battle body is plainly stronger than Li Hual's, and with no care for the star power drain, a single wolf can barely fight back. I cut down 3 in a row before 6 more circle to swarm me, and with the situation tightening, I channel all my star power into my saber until the blade glows gray. Its power spiking so hard that one slash splits the wolf in front of me clean in 2. I'd underestimated the Star Battle Body, because with everything enhanced at once, the wolves can't track my speed, and between that and the saber's terrifying edge, the 6 surrounding me are soon dead. Li Hual, just as reckless with his consumption, finishes his own 6, and the 2 of us rush to support the others, the soldiers swinging into a counterattack until the pack's numbers crater and they lose their edge entirely. Then a howl rings out and the wolves bolt, a leader on the far side clearly deciding we aren't worth it and pulling back for now. Wolves are vengeful though. I know we've been marked, the soldiers are spent, so I clear the field fast and pull everyone back toward the territory, grateful that we took no casualties, which owes a lot to the pack not fighting to the bitter end. Home again, I send the soldiers into the barracks to rest, call Lee Bugwe over, and order everyone to stay inside the protective barrier, because with the shield up I have nothing to fear from the wolves' revenge, while we're behind it. I bank some of the haul and list the rest in the trading hall, where food prices haven't dropped, but actually crept up, a sign nobody has enough food at this stage, and my listings sell out fast, leaving me with 1,055 copper coins. I head to the barracks and summon 10 soldiers outright this time rather than training, since summoning costs no territory citizens, and there aren't many citizens left to spend without crippling my resource gathering. Now the territory holds 24 Azure Orchid Guard soldiers plus myself and Li Hual, so if the wolves come back we won't be so helpless. Come daylight I'll take the soldiers and go find that pack, because until I wipe them out the territory will never know peace, especially with my citizens needing to gather outside. After dinner I return to the Lord's mansion, dig out some animal skins, and spread them over the bed. And it's actually quite comfortable, so why didn't I think of that yesterday? I opened the chat. The misery is universal tonight. Someone whose soldier got swallowed whole by a man-eating flower. Someone who hasn't eaten in a day begging for food. Someone noting that territory citizens' loyalty drops when you can't feed them. Someone who barely outran a wolf pack. Someone griping that a whole day of grinding bought a single soldier. A man swearing he saw a dragon overhead, and a man boasting he rescued a cat girl in the wild. All of it a parade of complaints and lucky breaks. By comparison, I'm doing well, since most lords have only 2 or 3 soldiers, and starting with the barracks meant I never had to bleed resources repairing the broken one the way so many others did. The Azure Orchid Guard are all inside the barracks cultivating, and I'd tried their technique myself, but only they can run it. Word is the technique replaces sleep with a rest even better than sleep, which makes me genuinely jealous. With no entertainment in this world, I turn in early. At first light, I check the barracks to find Li Hual and the others fully recovered, and after breakfast I refresh today's 10 territory citizens, all F rank with no talents, and hand them to Lee Bugwe before leading the soldiers out to hunt. I return to where we met the wolves, and widen the search, and soon a soldier reports tracks ahead, leading us to the mouth of a valley. The system congratulates me on discovering the wolf tribe's home, Wild Wolf Valley. From behind a big tree I count about 80 wolves inside, roughly 50 of them adults once you set aside the pups. No weaklings among them, and some nursing wounds from yesterday and licking them, their recovery clearly slow. Counting myself and Li Hual, I have 26. We can take them, and I'll open with a meteor fall. A massive meteor drops onto the pack and detonates, the shockwave erupting like a small nuclear bomb, and the Azure Orchid Guard switch to bows and loose a full volley. One wave alone killing half the wolves, the rest startled into a howling charge straight at us. Another volley of arrows, then sabers, and the warriors meet them hand to hand. I don't charge in this time because I'd misjudged my power earlier and burned my star power dry, so I hang back and shoot. Li Hual goes straight for the Wolf King. The panel calls it the Green Wolf King, rank 6, the lord of this forest wolf pack and genuinely powerful. With his battle body active, Li Hual edges out the king's strength and quickly pins it down. And once the king is tangled up, the rest of the pack falls fast, the freed up soldiers piling onto the king until it's gravely wounded and finished. I have Li Hual leave it one breath, because I want to test whether my high luck can shake loose something good. And I pick it off myself with the bow, arrow by arrow, never using the saber so it can't manage a dying counter. A flash of white light and I hit rank 3. My drained stamina instantly refilled and my body a few points stronger, finally caught up with the soldiers, since the first one summoned already reached rank 3 after a night of cultivating. The system congratulates me on killing the rank 6 Green Wolf King and begins generating loot. It hands over 60 copper coins, a Wolf King's cloak of bronze grade, and a lumber mill blueprint at E rank. Equipment and a building blueprint both. The cloak's skill, Wolf King's protection, raises a faint shield for minor defense while resisting cold and cutting poison gas damage, woven from the hide of the Azure Wolf King, and once I put it on the added defense is solid. The lumber mill, the blueprint tells me, houses 10 workers and produces 50 wood an hour for 75 copper coins, 55 wood, and 70 stone, and once I build it back home my wood gathering will jump. I pocket everything and push deeper into the valley, and after clearing the last few wolves I order the Azure Orchid Guard to search. Before long, Li Hual comes back cradling several eggs, the system congratulating me on discovering a forest wolf pet egg, F rank, hatchable into a pet forest wolf. Lucky me, a pet egg. F rank or not, a forest wolf fights on par with an F rank troop. Pets don't take up barrack slots, and at this stage with everyone's ranks so low, F rank pets still sell well. I keep searching and over half an hour gather 7 forest wolf pet eggs in all. Nothing else of value. Just as I'm about to leave, I catch a silver glint in a heap of bones and droppings ahead. There wouldn't be a treasure chest buried in feces, would there? This system's sense of humor is twisted. I have 2 Azure Orchid Guards scrape the filth away with branches, and sure enough, a silver treasure chest emerges. And I open it. Silver light flashes, and out comes 350 copper coins, a stack of wood and stone, and a wind spirit bow of silver grade real silver equipment I can use myself. I equipped the wind spirit bow and tossed my old gear into the trading hall. I walked to the one thing in the valley resembling a structure, just a ring of boulders where the Wolf King had been lying, and the system names it the Keystone Building of Wild Wolf Valley, an altar, offering me Occupy, Devour, or Destroy. Occupying grants me a level 1 wolf territory, devouring nets me some of its resources, and destroying just turns it to ruins. I choose Destroy, since Occupy and Devour over a few broken rocks would yield nothing worth having, and the boulders crumble to powder with a bang as the system confirms the level 1 wolf territory destroyed. Then it congratulates me as the first lord to conquer an alien territory, rewarding me a golden treasure chest, and asks whether I want to hide my real name for the announcement. I do, and it asks for a nickname to use instead. I try Overlord of the Firmament, taken. God You, taken. Proud Dragon Sovereign, taken. Imperial Firmament, taken. Holy shit, somehow also taken. Friendly Merchant goes through, and the system congratulates me on setting it. Fine, Friendly Merchant it is. I'm hopeless at naming things, and couldn't dredge up anything better. The regional announcement rings out 3 times, crowning Lord Friendly Merchant the first to conquer an alien territory, and awarding a golden treasure chest, and the regional channel boils over. Somebody stunned at the golden chest, somebody else jokingly demanding customer support and accusing me of hacking. A third grumbling that he's still killing cows while I'm starting wars. A self-proclaimed little fairy begging me to gift her the chest because she likes me. And a man simply marveling that we're clearly not in the same world. Not bad at all, another golden treasure chest. And though Friendly Merchant is suddenly famous across the region, what does that have to do with me, Jongwoo? A ball of white light rises slowly over the wrecked altar, and the system congratulates me on obtaining 1 spiritual rhyme. I click its info. A spiritual rhyme, it reads, is a rare treasure nurtured by the power of heaven and earth, and merging it into the fire seed can change a territory's aptitude and grant a stronger blessing. The note explaining that the keystone of any territory is itself a heaven and earth treasure, and that after destruction the gathered spiritual chi failed to disperse and condensed into this. I don't know exactly what it does yet, so I'll test it back home. I open the golden treasure chest and find a starfall blade of gold grade, a flamestorm scroll at D rank, and an iron mine at D rank. A gold war blade, though I already have the silver wind spirit bow, and with equipment so scarce, handing the blade to Li Hua will do more good. So I toss the Starfall blade to him and watch his combat power climb sharply with the gold gear equipped. The D rank scroll releases a flamestorm on use, a sharp tool for grinding I'll save as a trump card. And an iron mine at D rank, the note saying it produces 1,000 units of iron ore a day. Very nice. I list the 7 forest wolf pet eggs at once, since F rank items only lose value as everyone's territories climb, pricing each at 150 copper coins, a touch over the 100 it costs to summon a soldier, betting that well-developed early lords will want pets that don't eat into barracks slots. The world channel lights up at the idea of a big shot already holding pet eggs this early, and they sell fast. 150 coins crediting again and again until I've banked 1,050 copper coins, selling always easier with a huge population to draw on. I split the Azure Orchid Guard into 4 groups to hunt in different directions, since clustering everyone together wastes the manpower, and they can regroup fast if they hit social animals. And it's worth noting the warriors can use the gathering skill too, their drops appearing as unidentifiable orbs they collect and hand to me to turn real, a genuinely useful feature. At dusk I lead them back to camp, and with strength in numbers the day's haul blows past yesterday's. I'm snowballing now, and the lead only widens. Back home I take out the spiritual rhyme and summon the fire seed, the foundation of the Lord's mansion, visible only to me, seated in the mansion's cornerstone and called up at will. The system detects the spiritual rhyme and asks whether to fuse. I confirm, and it congratulates me on a successful fusion that upgrades my territory. The panel shifts. Wu Village stays rank 1 but stretches to 110 meters square. Its population now 39 with 1 hero and 24 soldiers. Spiritual chi concentration risen to 110. Copper coins at 1,915, with full stores of wood, stone, and food and a prosperity index leaping to 35. Best of all, the characteristic has unlocked, raising the territory's spiritual chi by 10%, citizen recovery speed by 10%, and the territory's perimeter by 10%, and the territory's perimeter by 10%. The characteristic delivers a clean across-the-board upgrade, the territory expanding outward, the very air fresher with the higher spiritual chi, which also means faster cultivation for the Azure Orchid Guard, exactly the perk I've been eyeing for ages. After a day of fighting, I've reached rank 4, the earliest summoned Azure Orchid Guard matching me at 4 and the rest at 3. I set the iron mine at the territory's edge, so the blacksmith shop can run once ore starts flowing, then list 500 units of food in the trading hall. Knowing from the World Channel that citizens eat enormously because gathering is hard labor, and that many territories are starting to run dry. The listing draws stunned praise, someone gawking at 500 food at once, someone spotting Wolf King meat and guessing I raided a wolf den. someone bowing to the friendly merchant boss, a singer-dancer begging to be taken in. I'd love to make some friends too, especially skilled ones, but with no teleportation yet it's pointless since we can never meet. Friend requests start pouring in, William the Great and 100 others, the list rocketing past 99 until I panic and block requests by nickname. And the silence comes instantly, the flood too terrifying. The food sells out fast for 1,000 copper coins, my total nearly cracking 3,000, and I feel a touch giddy, like a brand new rich man. I spend 2,500 copper coins summoning 25 Azure Orchid Guard, and a flash of white light brings them up in unison. No hero this time, so I wave them off to get used to the place. 49 soldiers now, not counting Li Hual, and seeing so many in the chat still stuck on single-digit troop counts, I feel proud all over again. After dinner, I open the trading hall and browse the listings. Pheasant meat, worn-out sickles, a mysterious fragment of unknown rank, a 1-coin cotton jacket, a silver luxury double bed for 50 coins, a spearman barracks at E rank going for 800, a mysterious bronze undergarment. The barracks are pricey for good reason, since the system only gives F rank ones whose troops cap at rank 19, while an E rank barracks produces soldiers reaching rank 29, and with the gulf between tiers letting one fighter beat 10, that gap is everything. Lying on the warm bed, I open the chat. Andre loves to drink, begs anyone with spare money to lend him some, and swear lifelong brotherhood. William I moans about killing 3 cows all day with traps. Steamed Bun celebrates a building blueprint. AK-47 despairs that development is brutal, and he's down to 3 soldiers wondering when he'll ever scrape 2,000 coins to upgrade his sorry thatched cottage. Tom Has No Sin advises against rushing the mansion and pushing more warriors instead. Bones Everywhere reports a peach forest whose fruit raises attributes, but is guarded by a big python he can't beat, and Fine Hemp Rope describes a patch of black soil that doubles food production if only he had seeds. Scrolling on, I find Lee Rinnerin and ask little Rinnerin how our development is going, and since we added each other by real name, the friend list shows our names rather than nicknames. She teases that I must have struck it rich, since my way of addressing her has changed. Lee Ringer knows my family was poor, and that the rough stretch after graduation left me decadent and insecure. So seeing me far more cheerful after just 2 days, she figures I'm developing well, shaking off the gloom, and she's genuinely glad for me. I tell her it's just a small fortune, and ask whether little Renner needs support, and she snaps at me to get lost, that my pocket change couldn't even cover her, that this sister has a D-rank ranged barracks so her development won't be lacking, and that she'd meant to help me but clearly I don't need it. I have nothing to say to that. Lee Rinnerin, an outgoing beauty who carried me through a lot at work, has always left me with a very good impression. The pleasant chat ends, and I drift off, worn out from a full day of grinding. I wake early, refreshed thanks to the higher spiritual chi, and step out of the mansion to use the lumber mill blueprint I'd forgotten in yesterday's rush to pump out soldiers. The lumber mill comes up rank 1, housing 10 workers for 50 wood an hour, upgradable for 100 coins, 60 wood and 80 stone, and I planted at the territory's edge, marveling at whatever black technology lets workers stand inside producing timber, without ever chopping a tree. Today's citizens come up mostly F rank but a few E rank, likely lifted by the territory's higher spiritual chi, and I hand them to the village chief, then repair the blacksmith shop and tailor shop now that I have the resources. I call Jiang Mu and Li Gi over to run them, recruiting their needed hands from the citizens, and with the new iron mine the blacksmith shop can start crafting once it's running. I'd asked Jiang Mu about it, and he can already forge black iron gear and basic tools, hammers, shovels and the like, while anything more advanced needs a learned blueprint. Let's start with tools, since black iron gear is dirt common now and won't fetch much, and the Azure Orchid Guard already come with starter equipment, so there's no point re-outfitting them in same grade black iron. With all the hides from hunting, the tailor shop can run too, turning out leather armor or hide clothing for the villagers. I send Li Hual out leading the Azure Orchid Guard, plenty of them now. Split into squads and I trail the squad under Li Hual to hold the line and leech a little experience. The kills roll in, a green vine snake at rank 4 pushing me to rank 5, and dropping snake meat, tendons, and a gallbladder. The note calling the gallbladder the snake's essence, a detoxifier that improves fitness and toxin resistance, and I swallow it whole, cool and refreshing, my fitness ticking up a notch. Toxin resistance matters in a forest crawling with snakes, insects, rats, and ants. Since the Azure Orchid Guard cultivate by night, they keep leveling around the clock, so I have to keep grinding just to stay level with my own army. A warrior reports a gregarious monster ahead, and I have him lead the way to the edge of a valley dotted with crude thatched huts and wooden fences, a ring of huge stones at its center that looks like an altar. Several humanoids are setting up a great pot to boil unknown meat, while club-wielding figures patrol the fence. Green-skinned, about 1 meter tall, fangs jutting to their ears and eyes bulging. The panel names them Goblin Warriors, rank 3, units under a Goblin Lord, average in strength, agile, winning through numbers. The system congratulates me on discovering a goblin camp. I watch a while and count roughly 200 goblins, no great fighters individually, but 200 is 200, and at my current strength I judge I can take them. I have Lee Wall gather the Azure Orchid Guard, and squad after squad files back. The gaps between them kept short for fast support, and I dumped the squad's gathered orbs into my backpack without bothering to identify them. Under Li Hua's command, we attack, volley after volley of arrows pouring into the camp, goblins dropping where they stand, until the survivors roar out of the huts, snatch up clubs, and charge. The Azure Orchid Guard shooting calmly and only drawing sabers when the goblins close. With every rank gained, the Azure Orchid Guard surge in strength, being SSS potential after all, and only half the charging goblins survive the approach, those falling fast under the warriors' blades. Then a red halo spreads from inside the camp and every goblin's eyes flush crimson, their strength spiking, attacking with no thought for defense and giving the Azure Orchid Guard real trouble. I spot a figure taller than the rest in clearly superior gear, a patterned wooden pillar driven into the ground beside it. The panel names it a Goblin Lord, rank 6, a shaman who wields mysterious powers and can frenzy his goblins into a fearless strengthened state, though they're left weakened once it ends. The pillar marked as a totem pillar of bronze grade, the shaman's exclusive weapon. A Goblin Lord then. I raise my bow and fire, the arrowhead caught by an invisible shield before it, but not wasted, since I see the shield shudder hard. I inject star power into the wind spirit bow, and the arrows hit far harder, and shot after shot the shield finally shatters and the arrows bury into the Goblin Lord's body until it falls, a beam of white light merging into me. The system congratulates me on 223 experience in rank 6, then on killing the rank 6 Goblin Lord, generating loot. Out comes 45 copper coins, a warrior set of silver grade, and a shaman class transfer book at E rank. Equipment and a class transfer book both. The warrior set, silver grade, raises my strength and recovery speed by 30% each, and carries a warrior aura that lifts nearby teammates' morale by half across a 50-meter span. The note crediting it to the master blacksmith Winger of Sunset City, lost in the war against the orcs. Delighted, I change into it and finally look the part. No longer a patchwork beggar with no lordly dignity, tossing the replaced gear into the trading hall. The class transfer book changes a unit's class to shaman at E rank potential. Decent enough, but useless to my territory since it suits lords who've opened orc units. And my Azure Orchid Guard are strong enough that I have no plans to add new troop types. I listed for 500 copper coins, lower than I'd like given lord's thin purchasing power right now, since holding it does nothing and resources are what I need. And the channel marvels again that the friendly merchant Big Shot even has a class transfer book. With the Goblin Lord dead, the frenzy collapses, and the Azure Orchid Guard mop up the goblins fast. Then I lead them into the camp to loot, the system handing me a silver treasure chest, which I open. Inside are 23 copper coins, a basic cultivation method, and a spirit spring at E rank. A cultivation technique, the basic cultivation method, the note says, suits everyone, and used in the fire source that lets all territory citizens cultivate, raising their rank and, very rarely, even improving their potential. Good stuff. Citizens can raise their rank by gathering daily, but it crawls, and even F-rank citizens, slow as their cultivation would be, would at least have hope of a breakthrough with this. I can almost picture my territory citizens one day slapping a besieging army to death. The Spirit Spring, E rank, placed in the territory produces spring water that slowly lifts citizens' potential and aptitude, speeds crop growth, and offers mild healing and detoxifying. A perfect match with the cultivation technique, and I wonder just how strong that healing runs, because if it's good I could bottle and sell it as a potion. After the search I reach the altar-like building, the system congratulating me on the Goblin Camp's foundation, an altar offering Occupy, Devour, or Destroy. I choose Devour, the system grinding through the territory and handing me 53 copper coins, a heap of wood and stone, a quarry blueprint at E rank, plus meat, green apples, and watermelon. So poor, but at least a blueprint dropped. And the fruit's a nice change since I'm sick of roasted meat every single day. The hunting rolls on with a fat haul, and at dusk I leave the soldiers home, leveled to rank 6 off the shared experience. The troops now scattered between rank 4 and 5, a big jump from yesterday. I summon the village chief before the Lord's mansion and use the basic cultivation method. Li Bugui is stunned, asking whether it's truly a cultivation technique, and I tell him yes, that from now on every territory citizen can cultivate. He calls it the hope of a breakthrough, immensely precious, and asks if I'm really just handing it over like this, because on the Star Rime continent, the gulf between ranks is vast, and many are chained by their potential and never break through in a whole lifetime, while leveling by work experience alone crawls compared to cultivation. Commoners almost never touch a cultivation technique, since they live only in the hands of the continent's noble lords, which is exactly why the Azure Orchid Guard, coming with their own technique from an SSS barracks, never reacted to it the way ordinary people do. I tell him that's right, that they're all my people, my solid foundation, that their strength is my strength. Li Bugui drops to his knees, his face thick with emotion, thanking me on behalf of every territory citizen and swearing his life to me, his loyalty climbing to 100 in that moment. I have him organize the cultivation and instruct the citizens to practice from now on. And like the Azure Orchid Guard, they can swap sleep for cultivation. This world is far too much of a grind. Once the quarry's built tomorrow, stone gathering will jump, so I take out the spirit spring and set it beside the Lord's mansion next to the farmland. The panel noting, it produces 300 liters of spring water daily with miraculous effects. The water itself slowly lifting citizens' potential and aptitude, speeding crops, and offering slight healing and detoxifying. It might not be my imagination that the spiritual chi in the territory rises again after I place it. I draw a cup and sip, a wave of freshness rolling through me. The whole day's fatigue gone, then have a soldier wounded today drink 1 too, and he confirms the healing is real but weak. I send him off to rest and open the trading hall, listing 50 portions of spring water at 1 copper coin per 500 milliliters, practically a giveaway next to real healing potions. Usable as a battlefield recovery draft, weak but a decent choice when no true potions exist. Since I'd tried higher prices before and no one bit, copper coins being precious and many preferring to just tough it out without a real potion. The listing is snapped up at once for 50 copper coins, and seeing the good response I keep 50 liters for the territory and list the rest. All of it selling for 500 copper coins. After offloading some excess supplies, my copper coins reach 4,270. The resources for upgrading the territory are nearly enough, but it's better to pump out troops first, since more troops means faster development, and a territory upgraded without the military to back it is just an empty shell. I spent 4,100 copper coins to summon 41 Azure Orchid Guard, the panel showing the barracks at SSS potential. 1 hero, 90 of 100 troops filled, almost capped, so the next step is preparing to upgrade the territory. I dismiss the soldiers and open the territory panel. Wu Village now 200 meters square with a population of 115, 1 hero, 90 soldiers. Spiritual chi at 110. My buildings now spanning the mansion, fence, farmhouses, blacksmith shop, tailor shop, lumber mill, quarry, spirit spring and farmland, with copper coins at 170 after the spree. Wood near 1900. Stone past 1100 and the prosperity index up to 67. By tomorrow, I'll have the materials to upgrade. The maid brings dinner, roasted meat as ever, with 2 apples and a slice of watermelon. The green apple E rank is a fruit tree mutated by heaven and earth spiritual chi, eating it granting experience and improved physique. The first bite strongest, long-term eating slowly raising potential. The same true of the watermelon. The maid is a young girl the village chief picked to handle my meals in daily life. Since with the territory larger and the population grown, I no longer eat from the communal pot. I finish the roasted meat and bite the apple, sweet and tart, the system handing me 15 experience and a slight physique gain. Then nothing after a few more bites, just the first time bonus. And the watermelon gives me 20 experience and another physique bump. There are even seeds inside both watermelon and green apple, which I'll have the villagers plant in the farmland, watered by the spirit spring to grow fast. Without proper seeds, the farmland sat idle, though daily hunting has kept food off my worry list. But as the population climbs, the nearby game will thin, so farming has to be taken seriously or we'll starve. I've been selling the hunted meat because it spoils in days and food prices are high enough that selling builds wealth fast, which fuels development. After dinner, I return to my room, sit cross-legged on the big bed, and run the basic cultivation method, soon sensing tiny Noki specks of light surging toward me, the legendary heaven and earth spiritual chi, and steeped in its embrace I feel like I'm soaking in a hot spring, indescribably comfortable. The noise outside pulls my eyes open, and the panel shows it's already the next morning, time flown, and though I never slept a wink, my spirit is excellent. Better than any rest. It seems I'm a grinder for life now. I walk out of the mansion and summon today's territory citizens, 10 appearing at once, and this time 1 comes up D-rank potential while the rest are F. My eyes land on an elegantly dressed old man. The panel names him Zhang Song, D-rank potential, profession merchant, the note calling him once an obscure great merchant from another dimension, able to communicate with the trading hall and skilled in all manner of commerce. He bows and greets me as his lord, and I wave him up and ask whether he can really work the trading hall, and he confirms that under my authorization he can trade there on my behalf. My eyes light up, because as the daily hall has grown, hand-listing every item myself has turned into a chore, so I name him Minister of Commerce for the territory, entrusting all buying and selling to him, and he obeys at once. I assign him assistance and set him to clearing useless items while collecting things the territory needs, and I build 2 more warehouses to store the supplies. I have Li Bugui organize the citizens' work and hand him the green apple and watermelon seeds, telling him to plant them in a plot of farmland, then head out hunting with the warriors. Over the past few days, we've explored a 30-kilometer radius and found no threats beyond that goblin tribe, still splitting into small squads to range. Today's warriors double yesterday's count. The search faster for it. I'll need to raise mounts eventually, where the growing distances will eat more and more time on the road. The kills climb, a wild boar at rank 5, a stone golem at rank 6, an ogre at rank 7, the monster's fiercer the deeper we push, and a flash of white light carries me to rank 7 before I even notice. Then a regional announcement crowns Lord Bloody Queen II to capture an alien territory, rewarded 2 silver treasure chests. On the ruins of a goblin camp, a beautiful little girl is sulking, complaining that the system is stingy, that friendly merchant got a golden treasure chest while she gets only silver, griping that these wicked goblins nearly drained all the energy from her vampire units. Anyone watching would be floored, because the famous Bloody Queen is in truth a little girl who, having drawn a C-rank vampire barracks at the start, renamed herself Bloody Queen. Vampires carry an undying trait, but every revival burns blood energy, and they perish once it's gone, recovering that energy painfully slowly. I just killed a wild monster when I caught the announcement, and I can't help feeling stirred that someone else has captured an alien territory, that everyone's developing fast. Another ogre falls at rank 7, and there's likely an ogre territory nearby. Soon we hit another ogre, and this time I order the warriors to leave it be and send 2 to tail it. We keep hunting, and 3 hours later the trackers return reporting an ogre camp 20 kilometers ahead with around 200 ogres. Ogres tower over humans, far stronger, thick-skinned and high in defense. Nothing like a frail race such as goblins, and at my current strength even a victory would cost serious casualties. So I note the camp's location to revisit once I've developed further, and change direction to keep grinding. A golden flower snake falls at rank 8, dropping a golden flower snake egg at E rank, hatchable into a pet, but I have no interest in snake pets and casually listed in the trading hall. A demon ape dies at rank 8 and a silver treasure chest appears. Good luck has arrived and I open it to find a Crimson Flame Rain scroll at E rank and an Elementary Administration Mastery at E rank. The scroll releases Crimson Flame Rain over a 500-meter span, hitting for triple damage with a lasting burn, a touch weaker than the D rank Flamestorm but still rare, so I pocket it. The Elementary Administration Mastery is the same skill Lee Bugui already has, and since the territory doesn't need it now, I list it in the trading hall. Then the system announcement rings out again, crowning Lord Andre Loves to drink the 3rd to capture an alien territory, rewarded a single silver treasure chest. So I'm not the only one with opportunity. Plenty of well-developed lords catching up. The channel as lively as ever. Someone wondering whether a territory war is coming since announcements fire every time a territory falls. Someone else reckoning the game's whole theme is conquest. A man boasting his neighbor grows grain while he hoards guns so his neighbor is his granary. A lucky soul who found a wild silver treasure chest. And a dancer named Han Han who ate a bright red fruit and leveled 5 times in a row with a bloodline awakening on top, while someone bitter has nothing at all. Everyone has their own opportunity and I'm not alone, so I close the panel and keep grinding. A wild ox at rank 8, a hyena at rank 9, a poison spider at rank 8, and a flash of white light carries me to rank 8. I think back to that young lady in the channel who leveled 5 times off a single fruit, and feel a stab of envy, because I've toiled for days just to reach rank 8, and even that pace counts as fast among lords. I keep grinding, and in the blink of an eye it's sunset again, so I lead the warriors home. Their ranks now between 6 and 8, the earlier summoned ones higher. Back in the territory I call Zhang Sang over, and have him list the day's harvest. And in short order, nearly everything on the trading hall sells out. My panel reads 6,000 copper coins, finally enough to fill the barracks summoning quota. So I tap summon. The system congratulates me on another hero unit, and I can hardly believe my luck a second time. The panel lays her out as Ran Bai, a hero at rank 1 with SSS potential in the Azure Orchid bloodline, loyalty 100, and her skills mark her as a mage through and through. Top tier wind element mastery sharpens every wind skill she casts. Wind pressure pins enemy units with crushing force and breaks their movement. Wind wings lets her glide short distances on condensed air, and air bomb compresses wind into explosive charges that burst across a span. Her tornado gathers a storm that hits for 5 times the damage, and her commander's skill lifts the attack, recovery, and morale of any Azure Orchid guard she leads. A magic hero, a commander, and a beauty all at once. The system spoils me rotten. Her gear is nothing like the others either. Leather armor and a staff instead of a saber. Completely unlike Li Hual, who is just a hulking great Azure Orchid guard with a blade. With area skills like hers, she will be a slaughtering tool against monster swarms going forward. And I'm thoroughly pleased, especially with those long legs of hers. Ran Bai bows and greets me as Lord, and I take her small hand and help her up, telling her to skip the formalities. Her face flushes red and she freezes in place. The air gone suddenly awkward, so I let go and turn to inspect the row of soldiers behind her instead. The genes of the Azure Orchid Empire really are something. The men handsome and the women lovely without exception. The mark of a civilization built on cultivation that polished its bloodlines generation after generation, until only the finest traits remained. Looks included. I'd questioned the summoned Azure Orchid Guard before, hoping to pry a cultivation manual or 2 out of their memories, but they carry none from before they were called. And that's a shame. I keep summoning until the barracks are full, and with resources to spare, I tap upgrade on the Lord's Mansion, and in the same breath I rename Wu Village to Hane City. The system tells me the mansion is upgrading. 30 minutes to go. There's nothing to do but wait nearby, since the Lord's Mansion is the cornerstone of the whole territory, the seat of the fire seed, and when it climbs a rank, the territory climbs with it. Half an hour passes and the system congratulates me on reaching territory rank 2. Just as I move to check the panel, a regional announcement crowns Lord Friendly Merchant the first to push his territory to rank 2, awarding a golden treasure chest. Then it announces that the regional territory leaderboard is now open for every lord to explore. On the broadcast again, and a golden chest besides. Some things never change. First place, naturally. I pull up the leaderboard. Hanhei City sits first at a prosperity index of 105, nearly double the second place Bloody Queen's elegant castle at 65, with Andre Loves to Drink's Lafay City third. On down it runs through names like Commerce Under Heaven, Li Pachion, Your Old Father, War Heaven Emperor, Sword God Invincible, Han Han Loves to Dance, and Yo Chion, the note adding that the board settles every 30 days and rewards the top 10 when it does. The regional channel lights up at once. Somebody gawks that the friendly merchant boss has nearly doubled second place, and somebody asks what the prosperity index even is, when his own reads only 19. Somebody explains it's a territory's overall strength score fed by buildings and troops and items, much like the GDP back on Blue Star. And somebody mourns the 2 soldiers he lost to a wolf pack and the 2 points of prosperity that died with them. I close it and open my territory information. The Lord's Mansion now reads rank 2, 20 meters on a side, defense 115, no longer the collapsing thatched hut, but a proper 2-story building. The next upgrade demands an eye-watering pile of stone, wood, iron ore, mithril, space stone, and copper coins. Hanhei City reads rank 2, its scope stretched to 550 meters square, population 135, 2 heroes and 100 soldiers. 50 territory citizens refresh daily now instead of 10. Spiritual chi concentration sits at 220, copper coins at 2,900, prosperity index 105. The dilapidated fences outside have become real wooden walls of stacked logs, the whole place pushed outward by a ring. Things are moving. One golden treasure chest still sits unopened, so I crack it, and out come 3 prizes: a tunnel beast at D rank, a lightning strike scroll at D rank, and a statue of the goddess of luck, the tunneling digger, and an absurdly cost-effective transport unit, which doesn't solve my mount problem, but does solve troop hauling. The lightning strike scroll releases a bolt of devastating damage on use, another D rank trump card for the pile. The statue is the real treasure, a thing condensed from mysterious power that raises the luck of every territory citizen under its influence, while dragging down the luck of enemies. And luck touches everything from breakthroughs on down. I carry it to the square outside the mansion and set it up, a huge statue rising as an instant landmark. Luck for everyone in the territory, and I'm already the luckiest man alive. Next, I walk to the Azure Orchid Guard Barracks and use the Tunnel Beast Barracks too. The panel reads it at D rank potential. Rank 1, 0 of 10 troops, 500 copper coins to summon 1, and notes again the earthworm origin and the transport value, with an upgrade wanting a rank 2 territory plus copper coins, wood, and stone. I summon 1 first. The panel names it Kate's, a Tunnel Beast soldier at rank 1. D rank potential, loyalty 100. It carries shield tunneling that bores a tunnel at blistering speed, bearing that gives it a vast internal cargo space for goods or living passengers, regeneration that knits its wounds fast, sensing that reads the surface while it travels underground, and body control that shrinks or grows its size within a range. Holy crap, it's the size of a subway train. At my command, Kate yawns its huge mouth open and I step inside. The interior soft and even lined with a non-slip layer, and honestly it's comfortable in here, just no windows. A beast this big could carry 200 or 300 soldiers without strain, which means my hunting mobility is about to leap forward. Over the past days of hunting, I kept finding mineral deposits too far from the territory to mine and haul, but with the Tunnel Beast, I can even bore dedicated underground lines, a private subway safe and out of sight. I don't have the resources to upgrade its barracks yet, so that waits for tomorrow, and after dinner I sit cross-legged and cultivate the night through. Early next morning I exhale the turbid chi and end my cultivation. Walk out of the mansion and refresh today's 50 territory citizens. 10 of them E-rank potential this time, and the rest still F. The bump surely owed to the territory upgrade. I gather the troops and we ride the Tunnel Beast out to hunt. The thing so fast we reach yesterday's grounds in no time, and the warriors fan out in small squads while I stay with Ranbai. The kills roll in, a rank 7 stone man dropping a worn shield, a rank 9 minotaur dropping a stone axe, a rank 7 wild ox dropping meat and ox horns. A flash of white light carries me to rank 9. One more and I cross into first tier. Ranbai shoots up fast too, already at rank 3, exactly what you'd expect from a mage. The wasps thicken ahead until a sky-darkening swarm pours over us, a beehive somewhere close, and Ranbai sweeps out wind pressure that drops them in clusters. Then, with too many to pick off by hand, she raises her staff and cuts loose her tornado. Cyan wind tears off the staff and resonates with the energy of heaven and earth into a massive funnel that rips through the swarm. The kill notices chiming without pause. Ran by climbs 2 ranks to 5, that kind of wholesale destruction leaving only a slight pallor on her small face. Magic units really are a slaughtering tool against mobs. The drops pile up. Bee venom and royal jelly. The royal jelly noted as the swarm's reserve food for its king. Dense with nutrition, improving physique over the long term with a weak detox effect besides. Another physique fruit more or less. This continent overflows with opportunity. We push on to the huge beehive itself, the wasps around it thinned by the tornado, and the soldiers loose arrows until the swarm is gone. The colossal bee king falls to a single shot from me, rank 9, dropping copper coins, a red peak sword of bronze grade, and a beehive at E rank. The red peak sword is forged from bee stingers by a great master named Angelus of Furnace City, sharp and venomous and built for assassins, no use to me, so Zhong Sang can list it later. The beehive, though, is a barracks I can stand up back home. I have several warriors clamber into the hive to scoop out royal jelly, and they pull 653 units. Then I choose destroy on the camp foundation. The beehive crumbling into fine sand as a milky orb of energy condenses in the air, and the system hands me a spiritual rhyme. I pocket it and keep hunting until the day is gone, then ride the tunnel beast back to camp. I hand the day's haul to Zhong Sang, who sorts every piece and lists what we don't need on the trading hall. Then I take out the spiritual rhyme and merge it into the fire seed. The system congratulates me on the upgrade, and the panel shifts. Hanhei City is still rank 2, but its population is up to 186. Spiritual Qi concentration at 240. Copper coins at 5,700. Prosperity index 115. The traits all climb to plus 20% across spiritual Qi. Citizen recovery, crop growth, and perimeter. The spiritual rhyme really does deliver a clean all-around lift, so from here on, I'll always decompose the territories I capture. With resources in hand, I upgrade the Azure Orchid Guard barracks to rank 2, which lets me summon more unit types, though I'll wait on that until Zhong Sang finishes the trading. Today's 50 citizens refresh and the population swells again. I throw up 5 more farmhouses to bring the total to 10, and upgrade them all to rank 2, the cost trivial. I push the blacksmith shop and tailor shop to rank 2 as well, then call Jiang Mu and Li Gi over to hear how it stands. At rank 2, the blacksmith shop can forge common bronze gear, blades and swords and shields, while the tailor shop can turn out common bronze leather armor, anything fancier needing a learned blueprint. So I open the trading hall hunting for blueprints, and even at this low stage, the sheer mass of human lords means a few usable ones surface. 100 refined knife blueprint, an Empire cavalry light armor set blueprint, a silver moon bow blueprint. They're all silver grade and all brutally expensive, and I'm still broke, so I close it. I tell Jiang Mu and Li Gi to forge bronze gear with everything they've got, and re-equip the soldiers, since the novice sets they're wearing are still trash black iron. I use the beehive I picked up today, the system handing me an E-rank beehive barracks, rank 1, 0 of 500 troops, 40 copper coins per worker bee. The unit is noted as not counting against the territory population, a weak basic B-race fighter that wins through numbers. I'm not short on resources, so I upgrade it straight to rank 2, the cap leaping to 1,500 troops, 5 times the Azure Orchid Guard, truly a swarm that wins by quantity. The Hornets can fly besides, which makes them my anti-air. Flush with money, I throw my hand up to summon a wave, then think better of it and stop, since I'd rather bank the coins for Azure Orchid Guard. After dinner, Zhong Sang has sold most of the day's items, the panel reading 15,250 copper coins, the royal jelly clearly fetching fat margins. I spend 10,000 on 100 Azure Orchid Guard, neat ranks appearing with no hero this time, and wave them off to rest, then summon 100 worker bees. Cheap as they are, my wallet can't bankroll too many at once. The system congratulates me on a hero unit, a Bee King, rank 1. E rank. It carries Bee Needle Rain for area damage up front, Poison Mist that throws a vision-blocking cloud of weak venom, and Bee Swarm Leader to command the swarm in battle, the note explaining that every beehive inevitably nurtures one Bee King. The ordinary worker bee, also E rank, and capped at 2nd tier, carries Bee Needle Stab for armor-piercing poison hits, Bee Needle Arrow that fires its single stinger and regrows it after 5 minutes, and Cluster for tight coordination with its fellows. And these worker bees can run the basic cultivation method too. Every territory citizen can cultivate, no matter the species. I've struck a vein. Even my bees do homework at night. After a moment's thought, I summon 2 more tunnel beasts so we won't be cramming together tomorrow. Then lie down on the big bed the upgrade finally earned me. No more sleeping on bare boards. I open the chat, the usual parade of marvels and complaints scrolling by. Somebody spotted a giant bird and wonders if it was a phoenix, and somebody opened a hero from a silver treasure chest, while half the channel insists heroes barely exist. Somebody hatched a tiger from a pet egg and dreams of riding it, and somebody exploded a recruitment scroll into a mage and got told magic lords are rare and lucky. I sit cross-legged on the bed and cultivate. Early the next morning, my eyes open. I refresh 50 territory citizens, most F rank with a scatter of E, and hand them to Li Bugui to assign. Then I assemble the great army, because today I wipe out the ogre camp. A full 200 Azure Orchid Guard under 2 heroes line the square in front of the mansion, the buzzing bee swarm massed on the right. Each worker bee the size of a fist. The Bee King is out front, big as a soccer ball with savage mouth parts and a grim shining tail needle. Every creature here the plus-size version of spiritual Kai-rich world breeds. 2 days of scouting told me the ogres have 3 attacks, since I can't read the panels of creatures that aren't mine, and have to send watchers instead. The first is a glob of poisonous spit that sticks fast and bleeds the target while slowing it. The second, a brute swing of the club for direct damage. The third, a leaping ground slam that ripples out a shockwave of area damage. Tall, slow, thick-hided, and high in defense. It was that intelligence that made me bring the bee swarm along, since I mean to settle this fight at range and take no losses. We reach the ogre camp's edge, the soldiers surrounding it and taking the high ground. I open as always with a meteor fall and follow with Ranbai's tornado, this time careful not to dump all my star power at once the way I did before. Li Hual's Windblade is an area hit too, but its range is small, no strategic weapon. So the bee swarm pours over the camp trailing its mist, roars going up inside while the Azure Orchid Guard fire from the outer ring, the Bee King's fog leaving its own friendly archer's vision untouched. The ogres swing their wolf fang clubs at the worker bees, but the airborne bees are nimble as anything and dodge both club and spit, and between the bees' interference and the mist, the ogres drop fast, the coordination flawless. Then a towering ogre with blood-red skin bursts from a tall building, and the panel names it an ogre chieftain, a hero at rank 11 carrying the Balrog bloodline, and the full power of first tier. It roars and a gout of pungent flame surges up and washes over the swarm, 20 or 30 worker bees dropping in a string of crackling pops. The Bee King hauls the swarm higher while triggering bee needle rain, the worker bees firing their stingers, though the high flame burns off the Bee King's mist. The chieftain's eyes blaze with rage and it leads the surviving ogres in a charge at the Azure Orchid Guard outside, treating the bees as a mere distraction and the warriors as the real foe. But only a short while has passed, and under the swarm's harassment the ogres are sitting ducks, our numbers pressing the advantage until barely 20 of them remain. As the chieftain closes, I fire off a decomposition ray, Li Hual and Ranbi unloading their skills alongside it. Before long, the ogre chieftain folds to the ground, 3 ribbons of white light sinking into me, and the 2 heroes as we all level together. The system congratulates me on killing a rank 11 hero across ranks, doubling experience and rewards, then on my first tier hero kill with 2 golden treasure chests, then on reaching rank 10 and first tier as the first lord there, awarding 5 spiritual rhymes. A regional announcement crowns Lord Friendly Merchant the first to kill an enemy hero across ranks with 2 more golden chests. The regional channel boils over. So Rangoon gushes it's the Friendly Merchant boss again killing across ranks and a hero no less. And Tom without Sen reels that combat power is supposed to multiply tenfold per tier, and asks how it died. A self-styled little fairy begs me to take care of her, and Xion Mok pleads for my secrets. I let them stew. Across ranks against a hero. Not bad at all. The whole region is starting to know my fake name, and not one of them knows it's me, Zhang Wu. The loot resolves into copper coins, a demon flame blade of silver grade, and an ogre bloodline at D rank, the bloodline marked as carrying a thin Balrog ancestry. The rare drops surely down to the doubled reward. That fire breath that gutted my swarm was the Balrog bloodline at work. But the thing's too limited, the flame barely reaching, and the look of it too ugly, so I'll list it later for what its rank can fetch. The demon flame blade I keep for myself, and once it's equipped the blade flows like living fire, full of style. Then I crack the 2 golden chests, the first giving 2 arrow towers and a sword and shield soldier barracks, all at D rank, the second 2 electric towers and 100 refined blade blueprint of silver. Every single piece is useful, my luck talent surely pulling strings again. Every chest opens in my favor. The D-rank barracks I don't need, so it goes to the trading hall, where D-rank barracks are coveted right now, and I sweep the lesser ogre drops into my backpack without a glance. I walk into the camp, stand before the building that mirrors a lord's mansion, and choose destroy outright. The system confirms a rank 2 ogre territory raised, 1 rank above the beehive and home to a first-tier hero, so the harvest should be richer, and indeed 3 white orbs condense into 3 spiritual rhymes at once. Where a fearsome ogre camp stood, there's only fine sand now. The lord functioned thorough to a fault, leaving not even corpses to clear since the ogres were harvested as loot. Seeing it's still early, I send the heroes to group the soldiers for more hunting and trail ran by to leech experience. I open my panel to find I've finally hit rank 10. Child of Stars, Star Bloodline, my 3 skills and luck talent all intact. Half the soldiers already at rank 9 and likely to cross into first tier by morning. The kills keep rolling. A wild ox, an iron arm ape at rank 10, a phantasmal butterfly, the monsters creeping up to rank 10 and the loot improving with them, F-rank barracks and bronze gear starting to drop. A massive dark shape blots out the sun overhead, a colorful ribbon like tail fin trailing behind it, and before I can even open the panel it's gone, the species a mystery. We push onto a slope scattered with glittering things, and I find Sunsetia, an E-rank fruit native to the Sunset Mountains that builds fire element affinity over the long term, so I gather them up. Ahead bounced small red spheres like spherical slimes, the panel naming them fire element spirit monsters at rank 10, evolved from absorbed fire elements. The soldiers loose arrows that pop them into bursts of fire. Good thing we're at range or it'd be a mess. Each death dropping fire element crystals. No gear, but as rank 10 monsters the experience is fat. I scoop fruit from the trees while we grind deeper, the wood's thick with these bouncing things, picking up mint and mushrooms along the way. More bouncers, a rank 10 wild boar until dusk drops without warning and I lead the soldiers home. Back in the territory I build the 4 defense towers, one at each corner. The arrow tower is D rank, a fully automatic tower that hits anything in a 100-meter square for 100 lethality. Holding 500 arrows and regenerating one a minute, no need to post a guard. The electric tower runs much the same, shorter range but a faster rate of fire. Then I take out the spiritual rhymes to fuse with the fire seed, 8 of them gathered today, and the system congratulates me on a massive territory boost. Hanhei City stretches to 1,000 meters square, population 338, 3 heroes and 200 soldiers, 60 citizens refreshable daily. Spiritual chi concentration sits at 400, the walls turn to rock walls, copper coins at 6,742, prosperity index 145, and every trait now reads plus 100%. With daily citizen refresh up another 20%. The spiritual rhyme really is a treasure, so capturing and decomposing territory stays my priority. I open the buildings to be built panel. Rank 2 has unlocked several beyond the old warehouse and farmhouse. A tavern that trades food and information with a chance of drawing wandering heroes to seek refuge. A mission hall that posts tasks for citizens. An altar for praying to the gods. And a school for teaching. The resources are nothing, so I build them all. I hand the day's haul to Jongsang to screen and list. And meanwhile, thanks to all the seeds he's bought, Lee Bugwee has packed the farmland with fruits and vegetables. Though with meat hunted daily, we plant little grain. So I throw up 10 more farmlands and upgrade them to rank 2 for grain, since food is the foundation of any territory, and a growing population will eat the nearby game thin. I give Jang Mu the 100 refined saber blueprint, so we can forge silver weapons now, telling him to recruit hands and prioritize them, though even at full effort the shop can't manage more than 10 blades a day. Step by step. After dinner, Jung Sang has all but cleared the listings. A lot of good things dropped today, and the panel reads over 30,000 copper coins. I keep summoning Azure Orchid Guard to fill the barracks. 10,000 coins for 100 of them. And the system congratulates me on yet another hero unit. Since heroes don't need a barracks slot, I spend 100 more to summon a single extra guard and top off the quota. The hero is Lee Hyo, rank 1, SSS potential, Azure Orchid bloodline, loyalty 100, a defender built like a fortress. He carries top-tier saber and sword mastery and top-tier shield combat mastery. Desperate battle that spikes his combat power when he's cornered. Son of the thick earth that doubles his defense and triples his recovery while he stands on the ground. And commander to lift the attack, defense, recovery, and morale of any Azure Orchid Guard he leads. He greets me as Lord, bulkier even than Li Hual, an iron tower of pressure. And I gesture him up and move to pat his shoulder. Except I can't reach it, so I withdraw my arm and pretend I never tried. Some heroes are too tall to pat. I set Lee Hyo to lead the new Azure Orchid Guard around the territory, then upgrade the Tunnel Beast Barracks to rank 2, which lets me summon up to 50. Since I can't afford a full set, I summoned 27 to add to the 3 I had, making 30. After assigning the troops, I head back to the mansion and take a bath, then browse the trading hall and find 2 functional finds. A public toilet design blueprint and a public bathhouse design blueprint. Both cheap. I buy without hesitation since money isn't the problem, planning to have the tunnel beasts dig the territory's sewers and drainage later. I scroll a long while without spotting any D-rank building blueprints, so I close the hall and open the chat instead, having grown as used to the regional channel as everyone else, since it has no once-a-day limit, like the world channel, and the conversation actually flows. The channel is alive, many lords now in the habit of lying in bed scrolling their panels like phones before the transmigration. The familiar chatterboxes trade complaints about wolf packs and harvests. One fretting whether a beast tide comes once the novice period ends. Another swearing she saw an ogre with its cracked fangs. A merchant hawking weapons. 2 men gripe that F-rank barracks can't even beat a wild ox while everyone keeps using them anyway. I close the panel and cultivate. Early the next morning, I exhale the turbid air, get up, and refresh 60 territory citizens, most still F-rank but the share of E-rank rising, and hand them to Lee Bugwee to assign. After breakfast, I gather the soldiers, set 2 tunnel beasts to excavate the territory's sewers, and 20 to haul Azure Orchid Guard out for exploration and hunting. The rest I put to building an underground transport system out to a 100-kilometer radius, connecting the mineral deposits I'd only marked before for lack of any way to develop them. Now I can raise stations beside the ore and run tunnel beasts to carry miners back and forth, and I require the tunnels dug deep enough that no surface enemy stumbles on them in a future attack, and the lines stay undisturbed. Today's focus is exploration. Mobility transformed. The tunnel beasts able to sense spiritual chi fluctuations and signs of life on the surface. which sharpens our search considerably. I ride in a tunnel beast's inner cabin. Its size shrunk to something like a Blue Star bus since it isn't hauling a crowd. Half an hour later, we surface at yesterday's frontier and step out, a spot a good 100 kilometers from the territory reached in 30 minutes. Far better value than mounts, which carry one rider, demand huge numbers, and suit poorly for transport, though mounts still matter for war, while the tunnel beasts stick to ferrying through relatively safe ground. We push deeper, and a rank 11 Boorman falls, dropping copper coins, a wolf fang club of bronze, and a Boorman warrior recruitment scroll at E rank, something new. I've no need for E rank troops myself, but other lords will hunger for them, since most are still stuck on F rank barracks, whose soldiers will eventually cap at rank 19 and can't break into second tier. As F rank phases out, E rank becomes the obvious choice. Past 100 kilometers, the monsters above rank 10 thicken, and the drops sharpen, more Boormen falling with their recruitment scrolls, a rank 12 Foxman dropping a Foxman Archer recruitment scroll. A bronze treasure chest yields copper ore, coins, and an explosive arrow skill book at E rank, which I learn on the spot. I test it, and with the star power in me, the explosive arrow hits hard enough to feel like a rocket launcher, and it feels great. We find a wide patch of lantern grass, an E-rank plant that glows at night and faintly raises a territory's spiritual chi, so I have the soldiers harvest it as energy-saving streetlights. They gather 232 stalks and 435 seeds, enough to make it a signature plant back home. Then we discover a Boorman camp of 200 or 300, most of them broken into first tier and stronger than the old ogre camp. I mark it to assault tomorrow, since nearly half my Azure Orchid Guard have crossed first tier with more to follow, and could take a camp this size. We skirt the camp and crest a hill onto a vast silver lake the system names Starfall Lake. Blue bouncing things along its shore identical to the fire ones, but water-typed. Water element spirit monsters at rank 11. We drop them in a rain of arrows for water element crystals, another elemental crystal useless now but surely valuable later. The tunnel beasts can't travel water, so we change direction. It strikes me as strange that for all this distance I've never seen another Blue Star player's territory, whether I'm the exception or the rule. Because if it's the rule, then this continent is simply too vast for so many players dropped so far apart. While grinding, I even stumble on a silver treasure chest. My luck unparalleled, and it gives 3 sword and shield soldier class change books at E rank, which let a unit swap to an E rank sword and shield, soldier capped at 2nd tier. They're decent enough that I toss them to the trading hall, since unlike me with my Child of Stars class from the start, many lords still have no class at all, and the gap between having one and not is enormous, especially for killing monsters. A day vanishes and I lead the troops back, the hall much larger now that transport has multiplied our reach, half the Azure Orchid Guard at rank 10, me at rank 11, a few warriors even at 12. The channel shows most lords still around rank 7, and the well-developed ones nearing 10. The warriors compile the day's intelligence. 3 alien camps inside a 150-kilometer radius, Boorman, Foxman, and another goblin camp. None too strong, all of them targets for tomorrow. I toss the harvest to Jung Sung, upgrade the remaining buildings to rank 2, build 10 more farmhouses and upgrade those, and summon worker bees up to 500. The unit cheap but so numerous it'll take another day or 2 to max. Summoning cost scales with potential, and without my price reduction trait filling the SSS Azure Orchid Guard alone would cost an astronomical sum. I lie on the big bed and open the regional channel. Andre loves to drink, celebrates his own rank 2 territory, while his barracks lag at rank 1. Pa Jun spectating from the front row asking what rank 2 unlocked. Andre reports that the mission hall and school are near useless when all your citizens are your own, and you can just assign work directly, though the tavern is good for its chance at wild heroes. A little fairy mourns she's never even seen a hero, and a big saber handle describes the dozen units in Ogre Hero's Great Collapse erased. So the developed lords have begun reaching rank 2 territories too, though without Mithril and Space Stone none can hit rank 3. My real edge stays my military strength and my early resource lead, since SSS units face no upgrade ceiling and the territory rank only caps the barracks level and troop count, not the unit's own potential. As long as I hold military superiority I stay ahead, the gap only widening for anyone who can't trade up to better barracks. Then the friend chat lights with Li Rinrin asking whether little Wu needs anything, since her big sister is a rich woman now. I tell her I'm fine, then ask if she has any Mithril or Space Stone, because that's exactly what I'm short on. She notes I'm doing well to already sit at rank 2, says she has no Space Stone but plenty of Mithril, and just like that she sends me 50 units of Mithril. I'm floored, since the stuff is clearly precious, not even surfacing in the trading hall yet, and here Sister Renner already hands it over, 1 Space Stone away from my rank 3 upgrade. I ask what I could possibly give her in return and what she lacks, but she says there's a Mithril mine near her territory that simply isn't producing much yet, so she's not hurting. So I joke that I'll just pledge myself to her in marriage instead, and she falls silent. In the end I send her fruit, the beauty and skincare kind, since the attribute boost is small but no girl turns down looking lovelier, and I owe her 1 to repay later. Then I cultivate and turn in. Early the next morning I finish cultivating, refresh 60 citizens for Li Bugui, and gather the whole army to hit the first target, the Boorman camp. The tunnel beasts burrow up near the camp, Azure Orchid Guard pouring out of their gaping maws with the bee swarm behind. Under 4 heroes, they snap into formation and attack, the fighting left entirely to the heroes now, since each carries leadership skills and I no longer micromanage combat. The kills roll, Boorman at rank 11 and 12, and 13 falling, until a staff-wielding rank 14 Boorman priest drops and ends the battle. He's a hero who casts several spells, the Hellfire Summon especially fierce, though Li Hual caught it on his shield and took only minor hurt eased by a healing fruit. Not one Azure Orchid Guard died under the hero's care, though the bee swarm lost 35 worker bees to Boorman attacks, an acceptable cost. Bees grow back, soldiers don't. The loot gives copper coins, a priest class change book at D rank, and fire element crystals. A D rank class like priest, a blend of mage and cleric that casts offense and healing both while mastering neither, I decide to send to Li Rinrin, since it means little to me but plenty to her. I wonder, mischievously, whether a class change book dropped by a Boorman might tweak her physique, and I send it off and walk on toward the camp to destroy it, the system handing me 5 spiritual rhymes. The friend chat flashes, Li Rinrin thanking me for the class change book and asking how I landed such an item, and I tell her I just happened to pull it off a Boorman hero. She goes quiet again. I collect the resources and march on the goblin camp. A rank 14 goblin chieftain hero falling there to drop copper coins, a berserker class change scroll at E rank, and a goblin thrall soldier barracks at E rank. The class scroll is useless to me and bound for the trading hall, since this kind of trash class is only fought over by the channel crowd, and I'm getting cocky again. The barracks I'll stand up at home, since some cheap cannon fodder to screen the Azure Orchid Guard would serve well. They're a different race, so no matter how many die I feel nothing. And even if they don't soak up fire, they can still gather the spoils off the field. With my SSS troops at full capacity, the only way to add combat power now is new barracks anyway. I destroy the camp for 4 more spiritual rhymes, rest the warriors a moment, then turn for the Foxman camp. The Foxmen keep dropping their archer recruitment scrolls until a rank 15 Foxman shaman hero falls. That hero drops copper coins, a priest recruitment scroll at D rank, and wood attribute crystals. Since my territory happens to lack a healing profession, I use it, summoning Kalia, a priest at D rank potential carrying healing blessing to restore health and mend wounds, courage blessing to lift a target's attack and recovery across the span, and light of purity to strip curses and purge toxins. I walk to the camp and destroy it for 6 spiritual rhymes, then collect the spoils and prepare to pull out, since it's already afternoon and I want the soldiers fully rested, many of them wounded and now with a priest to heal them. I send them back early to recover. 3 alien territories raised in a day. A rich haul. 253 Foxman Archer recruitment scrolls alone, and since I'm not short on resources I use them myself, the archer's handy for guarding the territory. A charming crowd of 253 Foxman Archers appears, their figures flawless, no worse than Li Rinnin's elf archers, so I finally caught up to her. I wipe the drool from my mouth and build 20 more rank 2 farmhouses in a separate quarter for the Foxman Archers to rest, since they came from scrolls rather than a barracks, and need housing. Of course the basic cultivation method works on them too, so I'll set them to the territory's daily defense, while other troops fight outside, and their cultivation will keep their ranks from falling behind despite the limited grinding. I gathered the 15 spiritual rhymes from today and fused them all at once, the system congratulating me on a great improvement. Hanhei City stretches to 1,750 meters square. Population 585, 4 heroes and 300 soldiers, 100 citizens refreshable daily. Spiritual chi concentration reads 700. The walls now Green Rock City walls. Copper coins at 33,554. Prosperity index 217. The base traits now run plus 250% across the board, with daily refresh up 100%, and a brand new second trait, a place of spiritual chi convergence, lifts every citizen's potential to a minimum of E rank and sharply raises breakthrough odds. No more F rank citizens in the territory ever again. I take out the Goblin Barracks and use it. The Goblin Thrall Soldier reading E rank, 0 of 1,000 troops, 20 copper coins each. The cheapest Goblin unit, pure cannon fodder, and I upgrade it to rank 2 for a cap of 3,000. I realize I'd badly underestimated this unit, because 3,000 goblins might overwhelm even my fully staffed Azure Orchid Guard. Better still, with the tunnel beasts I can ride this whole green tide to war on the subway, slow legs and all. Since fusing the Star Corps abolished my population limit, while other lords stay capped, a rank 2 territory holding only 1,000, this human wave tactic is mine alone. My current money covers only half a summon, but the day's spoils haven't been listed, so I hand them to Zhang Sang to filter and sell. Afterward, the panel reads 65,432 copper coins, enough, so I summon 3,000 Goblin Thrall soldiers blooming into a vast green expanse. With this many troops, I set out tomorrow. Let the other lords keep counting their 2 soldiers. Early the next morning, I wake from cultivation and refresh. 100 citizens, most E rank now with a few D rank. The territory trait plainly working and even the earlier summoned citizens broken through to E. I assemble the army and set out, still in small teams but mixing goblins with Azure Orchid Guard. The goblins' role is plain, charge into any danger and savage the enemy, leaving them half dead for the guard to finish. A wholly selfless posture and entirely my orders. Goblins don't need experience to rank up, so I leave it all for the Azure Orchid Guard. And since the goblins are cheap and consumable, there's no sense wasting levels on them. With the goblins, the hunting range widens steadily and the resource flow surges. And so 10 odd days pass, every Azure Orchid Guard now second tier and me at rank 23. This morning, the Azure Orchid Guard report a large gnoll camp of about 2,000 discovered 300 kilometers southwest, the gnolls averaging around rank 18 with some at second tier. They're a race where everyone is a soldier, fierce and brutal and skilled in team combat. Their overall strength similar to my territories. There's no profit in a head-on clash, so better to wear them down, and I order the army to encircle and kill the venturing gnolls in small teams. Food runs tight in their tribe, since as a beastman branch the gnolls live by hunting and store little. Every so often they send a caravan of furs and materials 300 kilometers south to a human territory to trade for grain, and by my reckoning that caravan should be returning about now. Sharpclaw is a squad leader of a gnoll hunting party, leading 20, and at dusk he leads them back laden with several huge wild boars. Everyone excited, though for some reason the prey has thinned the last 2 days. As they walk, Sharpclaw catches the heavy scent of blood, his own kin's blood. Rushing forward, he finds a heap of gnoll corpses and broken wagons, the caravan that went out, and in the distance several huge depressions in the ground but nothing more, only the lingering scent of humans. He returns to the tribe and reports to the great chieftain, a rank 2 hero and the tribe's supreme leader, who frowns deeply at the word humans. He wonders if the humans from Sayre City to the south have turned treacherous, though that seems unlikely after years of trouble-free trade, or whether these are strange humans, since many hunting squads sent out today never returned either. Late that night, in the woods near the gnoll tribe, a tunnel beast surfaces and ran by and I step out. I tell her to begin, and she nods and raises her staff, azure energy gathering over the tribe while the gnolls sleep and only a few sentries watch the crude walls. One sentry mutters that it's cold tonight, another that the wind is picking up, and before either can cry the alarm, a massive tornado tears through more than half the tribe. Seeing it land, I signal ran by to retreat, the two of us slipping into the tunnel beast and diving underground as the tunnel collapses behind us with a muffled thud. The tornado is a trump card that drains her mana, a full day to recover at her speed, another ready tomorrow. So 2 hours later, once the tribe finally quiets, I return on the tunnel beast and drop a massive meteor fall that crashes down like a small nuclear blast, the shockwave racing out as the tunnel beast hauls me deep underground in time to keep me clear of my own move. I surface and study the huge crater, lava flowing slow inside it with a pungent reek, that summon having drained my star power dry, days to recover. Those spiritual fruits back home will speed it. Nearly crippled the tribe, and they still have no idea who's hitting them. Time to retreat. Over the next days, the tunnel beast's mobility and stealth let the Azure Orchid Guard ambush the gnoll hunting squads again and again, and at night or dawn I bring Ran by to hammer the tribe with tornado or meteor fall. In the great chieftain's tent, the smell of blood hangs thick, since he's just torn a foxman made apart with his bare hands. The hunting squads are nearly wiped out, the nightly ambushes leaving the gnolls exhausted in body and mind, and worst of all, these cursed humans ride an insect that burrows underground, fast and silent, sometimes losing a volley outside the walls and fleeing before the warriors can give chase, then reappearing the moment those warriors return. Round and round, not a single human killed. The tribe's loss is heavy, the great chieftain growing more violent and still unable to find the human camp, which is either well hidden or very far. His scouts turn up nothing. Today's tally leaves fewer than 1,000 warriors, more than half lost without touching a hair on the enemy, and if the camp stays hidden he'll have to migrate or be ground to death. Inside my mansion I read the intelligence. The gnoll tribe down under 1,000, harried into never sleeping a peaceful night, their condition wretched. Another 3 days and only 800 remain, the human camp still unfound, and the great chieftain prepares to migrate 500 kilometers south to a gnoll city of over 100,000, where they'll become vassals, but at least keep their lives. He orders his clansmen to pack, strong warriors on the perimeter, and the old and weak and women and children in the middle. Watching the migration, I don't order a frontal assault, but keep using the tunnel beast's mobility to strike from every side, a road stained red with gnoll blood. 2 days later, my army launches a general offensive, the tribe at its wit's end, the war ending with the great chieftain's fall. The system congratulates me on killing the rank 23 gnoll great chieftain hero, dropping silver coins, a gnoll hunting squad barracks at D rank, and a priest class change book at D rank. After I destroy the totem pole in his hand, the system confirms the rank 2 gnoll tribe territory raised, handing me 11 spiritual rhymes. The war ran over a week, and in that lopsided fight the Azure Orchid Guard took almost no losses, so I clean the battlefield and lead the army home. The territory has changed drastically. The walls turned to obsidian walls of far greater defense, 60 defense towers standing at intervals, most of them E-grade. The inner city rows of buildings look like a villa district from Blue Star, a small stream from the Spirit Spring gurgling through farmland brimming with life. With the Goblin Army, Hanhei City's hunting range has widened and the harvest swollen, every building upgraded to rank 2, the barracks at full summoning capacity, though I build no new barracks content with the Goblin and Azure Orchid guard pairing until I meet something higher. As citizen potential climbs, several with forging and sewing mastery appear, and I assign them to the blacksmith and tailor shops, then spend a large sum on silver tier blueprints. Now the Azure Orchid Guard all wear silver gear, which with their second tier strength leaves them worlds apart from half a month ago. With the newbie protection period drawing to a close, I begin buying defense towers in bulk to harden the territory. And by today the defenses have taken shape, ready, I judge, for whatever comes after the shield falls. Then a system announcement rings out, congratulating every lord on surviving the Star Rime continent, and warning that the newbie protection period ends in 3 days, at which point an assessment begins, rewards and punishments dealt by rank. Every lord will be teleported to an assessment space for rounds of defensive battles. Each round survived, raising the evaluation 1 rank. The space of virtual world where all losses restore once it ends. The ranks run from SSS down through SSS, A, B, C, D, E, and F, with an E rank lord losing 40% of his territory's spiritual chi concentration, and an F rank losing 80%. Spiritual chi is the foundation of a territory, the announcement stresses, and too low a concentration cripples everything, even its luck, while rewards scale with evaluation, left for each lord to discover. The lord's assessment is coming, no slacking anywhere apparently, so even a paradise comes with a final exam. The regional channel buzzes. Somebody notes the shield will be gone and wishes everyone luck. And somebody asks what spiritual chi concentration actually affects. Somebody else explains it affects everything. That territories are founded on spiritual chi to begin with, and the fire seed itself runs on it. That if it hits 0, you can't even open the Lord's panel and people will die. Somebody begs to buy any item that raises it at a high price. And somebody else just tells them all to stop overthinking and build defense towers. The panic about towers is universal. One lord laments his 3 F-rank era towers won't cover a single wall. Another brags about a dozen F-rank towers but worries over his thin 200 troops. A third suspects someone is camping and sniping every D-rank tower the instant it lists. That sniper is very likely Jung Sang, since at this stage every lord is buried in work and only he watches the trading hall around the clock. The friend chat lights with Joe Rai asking how my preparations are going and whether I need help, and I tell him development's fine and ask if he's short on anything. He says he sniped a few defense towers yesterday, so he's set. That his luck ran good this time. One of his soldiers promoted to a hero with a skill that boosts overall defense. Perfect for the assessment. I congratulate him, and he tells me to chat more often since solo play is dull, and plenty in the classmate group keep mentioning me, asking again if I'll join. Again I beg off as no talker, and he calls me a closet pervert, and I have nothing to say to that. After a bit with Li Rinrin, I open the trading hall. Every defense tower bought up and gone. Even some barracks sold out, F-rank ones snapped up by lords who can't land anything better. So I buy recovery potions for myself and my heroes, while the warriors make do with spirit springs and spiritual fruits. Then close the panel and cultivate. These days of fighting have carried me to rank 27, the Azure Orchid Guard averaging rank 25, while almost no other Lord's soldiers have crossed into second tier, even the top lords managing only a few individuals. Some forces haven't even reached first tier, the pleasure seekers who never bothered to develop. Early the next morning I finish cultivating and refresh the day's citizens, then split the troops into squads to grind, leading a squad of goblins myself, since strength and rank always matter and I want 2 more levels before the assessment. A 3rd tier breakthrough better still. I refresh the trading hall now and then to instantly buy any tower I see. In the blink of an eye, 3 days pass, and early in the morning I get out of bed, though it isn't really getting up since I cultivated all night sitting cross-legged. Today the newbie protection period ends, and I open my panel. Hanhei City reads rank 2, its scope blown out to 3,250 meters square, population 6,559, 4 heroes and 3,603 soldiers, 200 citizens refreshable daily. Spiritual chi concentration sits at 1500, the walls obsidian, copper coins at 154,453, prosperity index 672. The base traits now read plus 650% across spiritual chi, recovery, crops, and perimeter, with daily refresh up 300%. The second trait, a land of gathering spiritual chi, lifts every citizen to a minimum of E-rank potential with sharply higher breakthrough odds. I walk out of the mansion, summon the day's citizens, and call Lee Bugwee over with the order that nobody leaves today, since most citizens usually ride the subway out to mine between resource points, but with the assessment here it's safer they stay inside. After breakfast I assign the defensive tasks. The Azure Orchid Guard, Foxman archers, and Goblin Thrall soldiers spread along the walls. The Bee Swarm massed nearby to support, the tunnel beasts underground to guard against anything attacking from below. The walls are piled high with stones the citizens hauled up yesterday to drop on approaching enemies, barrels of fire oil that Zhang Sang bought from the trading hall standing ready beside them. It's their first siege, and the citizens are plainly terrified, having never as non-combatants seen such a thing. So I comfort them and send them to hide inside the farmhouses, since non-combat professions can't offer much, and the farmhouses at least shelter them from the crossfire. The system congratulates every lord on passing the newbie period, and announces that the assessment begins now, with teleportation starting in 1 minute. When the minute runs out, the shield around the territory floods with white light, and after the flash, my citizens and I open our eyes on a scene no different from before. Except the sky has gone a murky gray. The system warns me the first wave is nearly here and tells me to ready myself. Standing on the city wall, I look straight ahead, and with a flash of light, a wave of goblins forms not far from the territory. 500 of them, average rank 8, only a scattered few broken into first tier. Their leader brandishes a club, and the whole lot charge the gate on their stubby legs. And the moment they cross into range, my archers loose, and before long not one goblin is left standing. My mouth twitches. That was it? I figure most lords can hold the first wave at this stage, the ones who haven't simply given up. The system congratulates me on clearing the first stage with a black iron treasure chest, and gives me half an hour to adjust before the second wave. Killing here earns no experience, only a chest at the end, so it's all about endurance. Half an hour later, the ogres come. Again, over 500 of them. Average rank 9, no heroes. And again, they fall fast and clean. A bronze treasure chest for the trouble. The third wave is 500 boarmen, half of them already first tier and led by a hero, but it hardly registers and a silver treasure chest drops. I crack it without ceremony and pull 45 iron ore, 12 mithril, and an E-rank spearman barracks manual that I'll find little use for. The fourth wave is 500 minotaurs, everyone broken into first tier, led by a tall second tier minotaur hero, but he's melee and no real threat, and once my arrow towers riddle him with holes, the battle ends and a golden treasure chest drops. Finally, something worth opening. At this stage, only I crack golden chests while everyone else tops out at silver, so I tear it open and find 143 copper ore, 32 mithril, and 5 space stones. A space stone at last. Exactly what I needed to push the territory to rank 3 once the assessment closes. By now, most lords have washed out of their own trial spaces, the bulk of them landing a D-rank evaluation and a silver chest. Only a handful of well-built lords surviving this far to earn gold and their first space stones, though most are still short on mithril for the upgrade. A trickle of mithril has even begun surfacing in the trading hall. The fifth wave is 800 ogres, all first tier. Charging behind 2 second-tier Azure Orchid Guard could grind them down alone, and before long, it's over. Only 3 of us remain in the assessment now. Me, Bloody Queen, and Andre Loves to Drink, and the other 2 are bleeding badly. Over half their force is gone, kept alive only by their walls and towers. They won't see the far side of the next stage. A platinum treasure chest drops, my first, and inside are 12 silver coins, 3 space stones, and a C-rank Minotaur Berserker barracks. A frontline race built to hold the line while my Azure Orchid Guard deal damage from behind. The barracks won't build until the assessment ends and I'm out, and the 12 silver coins matter too, since on the Star Rime continent the rate runs 10,000 to 1, 10,000 copper coins to 1 silver coin, 10,000 silver to 1 gold, and up the ladder. In Bloody Queen's space, a little girl stares blankly at a green orb of light, a C-rank tree and guard manual, a defensive unit through and through, and defending without attacking simply isn't her style. Andre Loves to Drink draws a C-rank Holy Light Priest barracks, and the picture of a burly man marching a column of dainty priests into battle is enough to make him shudder. In my space, the 6th wave lands half an hour later, a full 1,000 orcs around rank 18 with a few broken into second tier, led by a warrior hero and a priest hero, a force not to be dismissed. Luckily, only half of them are ranged, so my losses stay light, a few goblins gone and a handful of Azure Orchid Guard lightly cut, nothing that dents my combat power. As the last hero falls, the system hands me a diamond treasure chest, and I tear into it to find a single intermediate cultivation technique, except a single one is a windfall, since every citizen in the territory can cultivate it. Half an hour on, the 7th wave is roughly 1,300 short gnomes at similar ranks, but rolled out in front of them are rows of catapults and repeating crossbows, and 2 airships float in the sky. Now they've brought siege engines. Years of reading novels taught me gnome technology is always nasty, and I don't want to find out what those airships drop if they reach my walls, so I send the Bee King and the swarm up to meet them. Then the siege engines roll forward and open fire, and their range outreaches every defense tower I own, boulders and giant bolts hammering the wall. This can't go on. I pull the goblins and Azure Orchid Guard back off the wall, the tunnel beasts already waiting below to swallow them and haul them underground, because gnomes are weak up close, and I mean to settle this at knife range. Before long, the tunnel beasts surface right behind the gnome line and spill my army into their rear, and the gnomes scramble, their flimsy sword and shield soldiers stepping up to block while the repeating crossbows wheel around to fire. But my 3 heroes lead the charge and cut through the weak front line in an instant. the goblins and Azure Orchid Guard pouring in behind, and the crossbows never get a shot off before the whole gnome force scatters and my Hanhei City troops run them down. Siege weapons like the repeating crossbow hit brutally hard, but they take ages to set up, and longer still to turn, so by the time the airship drifts over the territory, the gnomes aboard are already dead. Everyone's ranks are low right now, and most racial edges haven't matured, so a clear late-game race like the gnomes starts at a disadvantage, the reverse of the orcs who dominate early. The system clears stage 7 and gives me 2 more diamond treasure chests, which I bank, since none of this loot can be used until the assessment ends. By then I'll bathe, change clothes, and burn incense before I open the lot. Racial suppression meant that aside from the few troops the first siege volley caught, the wave cost me nothing, just a couple of fresh craters in the wall and 20 or 30 bodies, all within tolerance. I send the soldiers to rest. The 8th wave is around 1,500 Boermen, ranks high, the lowest above 18 and half of them second tier, 2 second tier heroes among them, and mercifully no ranged units. But these Boermen ride giant boars, which makes them cavalry. The panel reads them as boar riders, hostile, so the finer details stay hidden. Their strength runs above mine, since my Azure Orchid Guard are second tier, but only 300 strong, though I still hold the wall and the towers. Boar-riding boarmen, I think with a jolt. Jumping pigs. I unleash a fully charged meteor fall, and Ranbai follows with a tornado from the flank, the meteor fall draining my star power dry in a single breath. And as the boar riders keep coming, I dump every spell scroll I've hoarded, Flamestorm, Lightning Strike, Crimson Rain, until the whole stockpile is gone and few riders remain. The survivors charge anyway, and the towers open up first, but the boar riders are too fast to take the full lethality, and the ones that reach the wall don't even slow, they leap straight up onto it. My Azure Orchid Guard switch to blades for melee. The goblins surge up to meet them, the Foxman archers fall back, and the bee swarm rises to harry the riders. Thank God for all those scrolls, or this wave would have broken me. The boarmen are big and thick already, and astride those giant boars they rampage across the wall, and even when they're knocked off they just leap back up, a constant headache for my defenders. By the time it ends, the goblins have taken heavy losses, the rest of my troops are mostly fine, and every scroll I owned is spent. Drained to the bone, Ranbai and I gulp recovery potions, and I have to down 5 bottles to refill my star power. That's all money, every drop of it. Stage 8 clears with an extraordinary treasure chest, and I have the troops sweep the field, while I figure surviving one more wave will earn an epic chest, which carries a fat chance at S-rank items. The trouble is I've already burned every trump card I own. Half an hour later, the 9th wave arrives, a single huge figure rising slowly into view, dozens of meters tall. The panel calls it a behemoth cub, a tier 5 unit. A cub, it says. The behemoth is the beast race's ultimate weapon, infinite strength, savage temper, and immune to spell attacks, which makes this fight a butcher's job. Good thing I have high lethality physical towers like the arrow towers, since troops alone would barely scratch the thing. I don't know whether my star power counts as spell damage, so I fire a decomposition ray at it as a test, my strongest single target skill, and a hole opens where it lands. It works. I pour everything in, draining my star power, gulping a potion, then casting decomposition ray again, over and over until the potions run dry and a vast hole gapes in the behemoth's chest, nearly hollowed out. The wound only makes it more vicious. Before long, my goblins are wiped out, and my Azure Orchid Guard with them. The bee swarm surviving but doing nothing to it. And in the end, even the tunnel beasts deploy, using their sheer bulk to tangle the behemoth so the towers behind can keep firing. My 2 melee heroes went down long ago, charging at the very front, beaten to critical before they could dodge. Then, with one last roar of refusal, the behemoth's huge body topples and collapses. I hear the system clear stage 9 with an epic treasure chest, let out a long breath, and sit straight down on the ground. Ranbai and a few Foxman archers stand nearby, a few tunnel beasts farther off, and as a spellcaster, Ranbai never had to step forward in that fight. Most of the territory's buildings lie wrecked, the farmland cratered, the statue of the goddess of luck toppled, and of the towers only 1 repeating crossbow and 3 arrow towers still have any fight in them. This was just a cub. I have no idea what a grown behemoth would be, and with everything spent there's no holding the next wave, so I tap exit. Light flickers, and my team and I return to the real territory, the buildings restored, the fallen soldiers resurrected. It's dusk already, so I leave a guard detail and wave the rest off to rest. The system congratulates me on an SSS rank rating in the novice assessment, first overall, with 2 epic treasure chests and a damaged world origin. Then a world announcement crowns every lord for surviving the newbie period and notes some system functions have unlocked. Details left for us to explore. I open the panel and find Warspace in the system mall waiting there. I open Warspace and a stream of knowledge pours into my head. Warspace is a virtual arena where I spend coins to randomly search for enemies, the matches being territory mirrors of lords at my own level. Every building included, mostly defense towers but no soldiers, since soldiers are offensive and excluded by default. I can choose to solidify some to stand guard in my own mirror, after which they can only defend and never march out to attack. The troops the attacker sends are real, and so are their losses, which will give plenty of attacking lords pause. And a destruction rate above 50% counts as a win worth 5 to 10% of the enemy's resources. The defender's mirror restores itself when the battle ends, but resources lost to a failed defense are real, pulled first from coins, then from materials, and at the worst from dismantled buildings. Each mirror gets a 24-hour shield after it's hit, immune to search or attack while it holds, though I can still launch as many strikes of my own as I like. This war space is a clever thing, and I can already see lords splitting into two camps. Farming lords will pour everything into defense, stacking every tower they can. Warlords will pour everything into troops, seizing resources to fund the next war with the spoils of the last. Warlords will outpace farming lords by a mile, but the risk runs just as high, since troop losses are real, and the lost experience is brutal to claw back. And a single bad battle could gut a lord and leave him crawling for weeks. There's a rank leaderboard under Warspace that sorts lords by their battle records, and the search prioritizes opponents near my own ranking. The system mall is stuffed with towers, equipment, and materials, all priced in silver coins, with a recycling function that buys back gear and materials for silver. But I hunt a long while and find no barracks anywhere. Barracks I still have to earn myself. The mall sells the materials for a rank 3 upgrade too, so plenty of lords will reach rank 3. Though every Warspace opponent stands at the same level, leaving each lord to decide whether to keep climbing or cap out and bully weaklings. The trading hall handles lord-to-lord deals, the system mall handles lord-to-system deals, and the two cover each other's gaps. I wash my hands at the spirit spring, pray a while at the statue of the goddess of luck, and settle into open chests, 2 diamond chests, 1 extraordinary, and 3 epic still unopened. The diamond chests give me 112 mithril, 25 adamantine, and a B-rank dwarf musketeer barracks, then 132 mithril, 25 adamantine, and 12 spiritual rhymes. High-grade hall, exactly what a diamond chest should be, and arranged barracks for territory defense on top. The extraordinary chest gives 3 A-rank mage towers and an A-rank Asol war priest camp. The mage tower a defense tower that casts assorted spells. The Asol war priest camp a strange barracks whose battle clerics carry a little healing but lean mainly on spells that sap an enemy's strength. Now the main event. I bow to the statue, rub my hands, and open all 3 epic chests at once. Dark gold light flaring out. They give me an S-rank Warden Comprehensive Defense System, and an S-rank Equipment Manufacturing Center, and an S-rank Rampaging Bear Squad, then an S-rank Protective Shield, and an S-rank Rampaging Bear Squad, then an S-rank Protective Shield, and an S-rank Wyvern Nest. I'm thrilled. A massive haul, every piece high grade, the territory's strength multiplied many times over. I really am a child of luck. I steady myself, use the intermediate cultivation method first to lift the whole territory's cultivation efficiency another notch, then upgrade the territory since the materials are finally enough. White light wraps the Lord's mansion, and half an hour later the system tells me it's hit rank 3, handing me 12 spiritual rhymes and 1 damaged world origin in the bargain. I feed in the 12 spiritual rhymes for a huge boost, then use the damaged world origin, and the territory transforms. The Lord's Mansion now reads rank 3, 100 meters on a side, defense 800, the next upgrade hungry for silver coins, adamantine, space stone, and spiritual rhymes. Its exterior has become a 5-story castle, watchtowers and defense towers at all 4 corners like a small military base. The territory climbs with the mansion. Hane City reads rank 3, its range blown out to 30,000 meters square, population 6,759. 4 heroes, 3,603 soldiers, 1,000 citizens refreshing daily, obsidian city wall ringing it round, spiritual chi concentration at 4,650, prosperity index, 1,067. The first trait, a blessed land where spiritual chi gathers, lifts every citizen's potential and aptitude to a floor of D rank and sharply raises breakthrough odds. The second trait is the real wonder, a self-contained world, which lets me draw the whole territory into my body to form a territory space, a thing with the potential to grow into a world. So the damaged world origin is what did it. I try pulling the territory inside, and with a low rumble the whole place shrinks down to a beam of light that rushes into me, the system confirming the transformation to a territory space. Just then, deep in the forest, a huge creature stirs from its sleep and wonders aloud what that fluctuation was, whether someone has just become a god, calling it too terrifying that even a place this remote isn't safe, before its vast figure shrinks to a black light and vanishes into the air. I stand curiously studying the great pit where my territory used to be. Is it just gone like that? I open the panel and choose to enter the territory space, and I vanish on the spot, leaving behind a single speck of dust, the space's whole outward appearance. Inside, everything stands untouched, and after a while I get the feel of it. From now on I can carry the territory anywhere, summon citizens out of the space whenever I want, and even open a fixed portal to let citizens come and go freely, while in the outside world only that plain mote of dust marks the spot. far too ordinary for anyone to notice. The function borders on heaven-defying. The world is vast and now I can go anywhere in it. Back on Blue Star, I envied people touring around in RVs. And a territory I carry in my body beats an RV countless times over. One day this territory space may truly become a world, and then I'll be able to wield world power itself. Back inside, I keep inspecting the place, and with resources finally in hand, it's time for a building spree. I raised the 3A rank mage towers and the S rank warden comprehensive defense system, protective shield, and equipment manufacturing center, upgrading them all to rank 3. The mage towers cast spells and outclass my old F rank towers by orders of magnitude. The warden comprehensive defense system is a kind of artificial intelligence that takes over every tower in the territory and coordinates them into one integrated defense, multiplying their efficiency. The protective shield throws up a transparent film when active, draining spiritual chi as it holds, and though I haven't tested its strength, an S-rank item won't be feeble. The equipment manufacturing center is the real prize, a place to feed in blueprints, materials, and labor to mass-produce gear like an assembly line, solving the blacksmith shop's crawling pace at last. Buildings can wait. I sort the barracks first, upgrading the Azure Orchid Guard to rank 3 ahead of the rest, since SSS rank earns top priority. The troop cap doubles, so I can summon more, and the panel still notes my cost for the camp is mysteriously slashed. Next, the Rampaging Bear Squad and the Wyvern Nest, both S rank at rank 3. The Rampaging Bear Squad, a core Beast Empire unit of berserk strength and fearless ferocity that tears enemies apart with its claws. The Wyvern Nest, an advanced Beast Empire unit that flies, breathes dragon breath, and brawls in melee. The two pair perfectly, Wyverns ferrying the Raging Bears. A rough sort of dragon knight, though strictly a wyvern is only a sub-dragon, and worlds beneath a true one. Still, for Blue Star Lords at this stage, it's the ceiling of combat power. Then the Griffin Nest and the Wyvern Nest. The Griffin, an advanced Elf Empire unit that flies as a mount and strikes with lightning. A flawless match for the Azure Orchid Guard, who will now be Griffin Knights. Ever since the Boar Riders ran me down and ulted me in the assessment, I've held a grudge. Now I've got my own cavalry at last. 2 kinds of air cavalry, no less. And I can't stop grinning for a long while. I start cranking out troops, summoning 300 Azure Orchid Guard to fill the barracks quota, no hero this time, then move to fill the Griffin Nest, and the system cheerfully tells me my coin balance is insufficient. I wear the look of a man stuck mid-task, and what exactly is this system congratulating me about? My balance is nearly bare. The S-rank unit price is steep, so that's enough for today, and I'll summon the rest piece by piece as resources pile up. More barracks still want building, but resources are short, so I prioritize the high-potential ones and take the rest slow. It's dark by then, and after dinner I sprawl on the big bed and scroll the chat. The channel marvels that the Friendly Merchant Tycoon's Prosperity Index has skyrocketed to 1,067. Nearly double second place, someone guessing he cleaned up in the assessment. Someone else content with a C rank. Another bragging that his D rank still earned 2 silver chests. And a few half-joking again about gathering 5 friends to raid me. With my current strength, I'd scare myself if I met me. The talk turns to war space. One lord crowing he searched a goblin territory and walked off with 20,000 coins. Another shrugging that the opponents aren't only humans, so he feels no guilt attacking now. A third gripes that goblins bombed him from an airship, though he shot 2 ships down. And one animal of a lord laments he had to burn a city of beautiful flower elves to ash. My neighbor stores grain. Somebody quips. I store guns. The neighbor is my granary. The whole mood has shifted, every lord carrying a new urgency. The lie-flat crowd all but extinct. Exactly what the system wanted when it opened war space. I ask around and find Lee Rinnern and Joe Rye both landed C-rank evaluations. Not bad at all, then sit cross-legged for the Knight's cultivation with the intermediate cultivation method. The territory's denser spiritual chi speeding it noticeably. Next morning I open my door refreshed. Today's 1,000 citizens already arrived. Most D-rank potential with a sliver at C-rank. And the ones summoned earlier have all broken past D-rank. Plenty of the old D-ranks climbing higher. Blessed Land is no empty name, and my development will outrun every same period lord. The gap only widening with time. After breakfast, I solidify the Foxman archers as defense only, since their potential is too low for outside combat and hauling them along just bleeds attrition, whereas left inside, under the towers, their survival improves. Even they've broken past D rank under Blessed Land, which is high-end by other lord standards. The me of today isn't the me of yesterday. Before the assessment, I'd have prized a D rank unit. Now with a fistful of S-rank troops, I'm floating. A D-rank unit, I scoff. Even a dog wouldn't take one. After lurking in the channel, I've got the shape of war space down. The enemies it finds all stand at my rank and span every race. And clearly more than Blue Star people use this system, since some lords have matched human players from other planets. The Starrhine continent is larger than I imagined. The search fee scales with territory rank, and when I tested a rank 3 search costs 2,000 coins per pull. Once an enemy surfaces, I see their territory mirror, and the resources a full 100% destruction would yield. And if they're too strong or too poor to bother with, I just tap exit. No harm to the next search, but no refund either. A destruction rate over 50% wins, 50% plundering 5% of their resources, and 100% plundering 10. The loot tallied across everything they own, buildings and barracks and inventory alike, so emptying your stockpile saves you nothing. The system is airtight, no loophole to pick. Since all matches sit at my rank, many lords now debate capping out, but capping only lets you bully weaklings who hold few resources anyway, while everyone who keeps climbing leaves you behind. A saying is making the rounds in the channel, your resources belong to others. Others' resources are yours. Crude but true. Everything comes back to strength. Let me test the waters. I gather every deployable troop, Foxman archers excluded since solidifying locked them to defense, and tap search, the 2,000 coins still stinging a little. The system matches me an opponent worth up to 10 silver coins, and we teleport before a city of red rock walls about the size of mine. Tall goblins pack shoulder to shoulder along the parapet clutching short spears. A ranged unit the panel labels Goblin Spearmen, all above first tier with only a few at second. A wide moat fronts the wall, fewer than 10 defense towers behind it, so the enemy's no powerhouse. The tunnel beast surfaces straight up from inside their city carrying my army, the goblins and Azure Orchid Guard spilling out behind. This time is different, since kills here earn no experience and the Azure Orchid Guard no longer need the finishing blows, the goblins serving only to keep them out of harm. The thin defenses crumble fast, towers then garrison, and the system declares a full 100% victory and 10 silver coins. Back home I rest the warriors, the Azure Orchid Guard sipping Spirit Spring to recover, while my lone priest runs ragged, far too few priests for sustained fighting, so I'll need the Asol War Priest camp up soon. The battle cost me 1,000 goblins, the Azure Orchid Guard only lightly scratched, which is nothing. 1,000 goblins resuming for 2 silver coins. The battle paid out 10, a net 8. This warspace business is worth doing. I pushed the Goblin Thrall Soldier Barracks to rank 3, the cheapest of the Goblin line, pure cannon fodder, now potential D under Blessed Land, with the cap at 6,000, and spend the 8 silver to summon 4,000 goblins. Once the warriors are rested, on the offensive again. I tap search and match a Minotaur tribe lord worth up to 11 silver, defenses much like the last. But Minotaurs hit far harder than goblins one-on-one. So I open with a meteor fall, a giant meteor crashing down onto the enemy city, a mushroom cloud rising and a shockwave rolling out. These days, I still have to hunt monsters in reality, both for resources and for levels, since I'm rank 29 now and 2 days from another, and the freshly summoned Azure Orchid Guard need experience too. Ran by follows with a tornado, then a full assault, and the system calls another 100% win and 11 silver. Back home I top off the goblins, the 2 opening strikes leaving losses even lighter than before, and spend 10 silver to summon 10 wyverns. Rest, search, win, 10 silver, search, win, 12 silver. By evening I've reaped another 92 silver and summoned 100 wyverns total. Over 100 silver in a day. Warspace really is awesome, every match a weekling, one day here worth several days of hunting. I order the warriors to rest, return to the mansion, take a long bath. The channel agrees, someone noting the matches go by ranking so first-timers always draw the tiers weakest, the opponent's only stiffening as your win rate climbs. Another warning that rising rank means stronger attackers coming for you, so defenses need stacking. Lurking the channel pays off again. Starting tomorrow I can't just pump troops, I have to peel off resources for defense towers, since a single defeat would bleed me badly, and luckily the system mall sells towers by the rack. After a while I cultivate for the night. Next morning, citizens refreshed. I send the army out to hunt and take a small team myself, dead set on rank 30 in 2 days. The kills roll, a rank 22 giant python, a rank 25 lizardman, and then a silver treasure chest surfaces, which is the charm of real hunting, the occasional chest. It gives 1 E-rank archer barracks and 2 E-rank fireball scrolls, the archer barracks bound for territory defense later. 500 kilometers south of my territory a massive city sprawls, caravans of every race streaming along the Bluestone Road before its gates. Inside a great mansion at the city's heart, an old man reports to a black-haired young man confirming that the Wolf-Fang tribe has been ground to ruins, that it had come to trade for grain barely a month ago. The young man orders the investigation team strengthened, and the search widened with the Wolf-Fang tribe at its center. Were I standing there, I'd note the young man looks much like a Korean, black hair and yellow skin, but for the silver light that flickers now and then in his eyes. Seer City is where the Knoll tribe I wiped out used to trade grain, a city of over 100,000, a rank 3 native territory holding even a tier 4 powerhouse, where unlike lords with a system the natives develop slowly, and have no population cap. A normal rank 3 city runs mostly second tier, a rare few at third, and a tier 4 sits at old ancestor level, almost never seen in a rank 3 territory, so its presence marks Seer City as well built. The Star Rime continent is a land of 10,000 races where none has unified anyone. Cities standing alone, the whole continent thrown into chaos by it. Back in Hanhei City I returned from a day's hunting. When the Seer City investigators reach the dead Knoll tribe, my scouts spot them, But since they're human race too and I can't tell friend from foe, I leave them be rather than strike without cause. Over these hunting days I've sent the bee swarm out as scouts, and between them and the wyvern speed I've mapped a wide stretch, several forces of around 1,000 among them. Next morning I assemble the army to sweep those forces, since scattered hunting earns far less than raising settlements. Everyone deploys, the tunnel beasts hauling the goblins in azure orchid guard, the wyverns flying on their own, and my citizens watch the figures vanish into the teleport screen, knowing their lord rides to war again. Most of these citizens run loyalty above 80, never once hungry since coming to Hanhei City, fed well, stocked with goods, and free to cultivate, a thing the continent reserves for nobles and their people. Even Seer City's 100,000 are mostly commoners who can't cultivate, not for lack of techniques, which any noble owns, but for mediocre aptitude that would only waste the city's limited spiritual chi. Commoners still have a ladder, tested young for talent and recruited into the city guard or scouted by noble lords if their aptitude is good. In Hanhei City, dense with spiritual chi and open to all, it's simply heaven. Following Li Bugui, I refresh a few internal affairs talents and set them under him to manage the city, and with resources plenty the people live well. The army reaches the first target fast, a Cat People tried camp of about 1,000 at second tier. The camps we find now tend to run higher rank the more populous they are, especially soldier races like the orcs, since large tribes seize the spiritual Kai-rich ground and the resources to climb. I've also noticed big tribes keep something like a spirit gathering array, a totem pole or a statue, though none has dropped for me yet. Cat people are nimble, but no amount of nimbleness touches a wyvern in the air, and in short order the tribe is wiped out. The system credits my citizens with killing the rank 28 Cat People clan chief hero, then hands me 3 silver coins, 3 bronze declaration of war orders, and a D-rank Cat People assassin barracks. The declaration of war order, the note says, is an item condensed by the god of war, opening a teleport channel that lasts 1 day once I provide an enemy lord's ID or nickname, and it cannot be used against a territory ranked lower than mine. So now lords can strike each other directly. From here on, the chat channel is no safe haven, since any day a declaration of war order could come slapping down, and already the show-offs on the public channel have gone quiet. It reminds me of that joke about 5 friends ganging up on me. At this stage, who'd dare? Don't blame me for bullying kids. The Cat People assassin works as a recon unit, but its rank is too low to bother with, so it'll go to the trading hall, where barracks fetch high prices since the system mall sells none. And with war now a real threat, anything above F rank commands a premium. The system credits me with raising the rank 3 Cat People tribe and 15 spiritual rhymes. On to the next. The second target is a lizardman camp of around 1,500, all broken into second tier. A few at third, the lizardmen huge as earth dragons, swamp dwellers skilled in poison with a crushing bite, which means nothing as long as they can't fly. First, a meteor fall. The system rolls off a dense string of kills, a rank 25 lizardman dropping 3,000 copper coins, an E-rank lizardman warrior recruitment scroll, and an E-rank jungle giant lizard pet egg. Then a rank 34 lizardman dropping 2 silver coins with D-rank versions of both. Recruitment scrolls raise military strength outright, but these run low rank, so they'll go to the trading hall where they'll sell fast. The pet eggs can serve as territory defense or as mounts, but my main units already have mounts, the only one lacking any being the Asal War Priest camp. And a column of clerics riding lizards is an image I'd rather not, so I'll sell those too. A flying mount for the priests can wait. The system credits my citizens with the rank 32 Lizardman Shaman Hero, then hands me 150 silver coins, a silver declaration of war order, and a gold-grade purple Spirit Blade design blueprint, bound for the Equipment Manufacturing Center to mass-produce later. The silver order opens a channel for 7 days instead of 1. It's not only for war, really, but for visiting kin, travel, support, alliances, or trade. A one-time teleport array, except I've no one I want to see. Then Lee Rinneren's face flashes through my mind. What's this? Do I actually want to see her? I pull up the friend list and message her with the order's details. I ask Lee Rinneren if she wants to meet up in person. She fires back asking whether I mean to declare war on her, and I tell her no. Meet up, literally. She passes saying the item must be worth a fortune right now. Better trade it for resources to develop. And that's that. Just then, Li Hual walks up cradling a giant egg pulled from deep within the Lizardman tribe. A green dragon pet egg, S rank, laid by the green dragon Sarkis after she was wounded. The innate deficiency capping it at a green dragon of S-rank potential. An S-rank pet egg. Even crippled at birth, it's still S-rank, since dragons really are a top-tier species, and once it hatches, it's my mount at last. The system credits me with raising the rank 3 Lizardman camp and 24 spiritual rhymes. The battle yields 1,532 E-rank and 8 D-rank scrolls and eggs, which I list. The scrolls priced just above a same rank barracks' summon cost, since they need no barracks bought. The pet eggs higher still for doubling as pet and mount. The channel comes alive, someone gasping at so many scrolls and eggs, and asking if the big boss raided a lizardman nest. Someone calling the D-rank jungle monitor lizard a cool mount and buying on site. Someone else begging me to send a pet egg in exchange for a dance. Resisting the urge, I closed the channel. It's not worth a declaration of war order just to watch somebody dance. Next target, a treant camp. About 500 of them, all at second tier. The treant race a natural wall, and I want some treant drops to harden my defenses. They stand a full 20 meters tall and lash with branches across a massive reach. Their only flaw is slow feet and a fear of fire. So I pull fire oil from the territory space and the wyverns snatch the barrels up and dive, dumping oil then spitting dragon breath to light it. A sea of fire blooms, the treant's branches flailing, useless against oil this viscous. The system rolls off kills, a rank 25 treant guard dropping 3,000 copper coins, an E-rank treant guard recruitment scroll, and 8 wood attribute crystals, and more like it. No barracks among them, but recruitment scrolls are fine, and even E-rank is fine, since one shouldn't be greedy. The treants suit defense perfectly, standing like big trees eating no resources, even greening the place. Rand by seizes the moment and loses another tornado, this one folding into the flames as a fire tornado. And before long, the treant race is wiped out. The system credits my citizens with the rank 31 War Ancient Tree Hero, then hands me 103 silver coins, 5 C-rank Ancient Tree Hearts, and a C-rank Treant Guard Barracks. A barracks at last, so I can summon treants in bulk back home. The system credits me with raising the rank 3 treant camp in 21 spiritual rhymes. Last target, a goblin camp. Old rivals, weak one-on-one but breeding fast and winning by sheer numbers. This one 5,000 strong at second tier. A regional power if not for their feeble individual fighting. They're no threat to me, only a few shamans able to strike from the air, and after the wyverns hammer them the goblins lose their anti-air entirely, and the rest is a one-sided slaughter. I play fire support this time, firing explosive arrows, one shot blowing a wide hole and it feels amazing. Like I'm a terrorist with a rocket launcher hunting the densest clusters. The kills roll, a rank 24 Goblin Thrall Soldier, a rank 25 Hobgoblin, a rank 27 Goblin Shaman, each dropping a couple thousand coins and an E-rank Goblin Recruitment Scroll, too few to matter, all bound for the trading hall. The system credits my citizens with the rank 25 Hobgoblin Hero, then hands me 3 silver coins, an E-rank Goblin Laborer Barracks, and 5 Backpack Expansion Stones, each adding 1 slot, which I use at once. The system credits me with raising the rank 3 Goblin Camp and 16 spiritual rhymes. It's late by the time the field is clean, so I lead the army home, hand the unusable loot to Jung Sang for the trading hall, then take the 500-odd treant guard recruitment scrolls and use them straight off, planting the treants beside the farmlands outside the city. I wonder if they'll give some enemy a nasty surprise. I build the treant guard barracks and upgrade it to rank 3, C rank potential. 400 copper coins a treant, and with today's haul I summon the full quota at once and scatter them around the fields and roads outside the city. I drop the 5 ancient tree hearts into the fire seed for a faster plant growth boost, then fuse the 55 spiritual rhymes from the day, lifting spiritual chi concentration by 550. Resources are flush again, so I fill the griffin nest and wyvern nest in one breath, 3 griffin hero units and 1 wyvern hero unit appearing among them. Now the Azure Orchid Guard all have mounts and no longer ride tunnel beasts. The territory's first proper cavalry at last. I also pick up a Goblin Drudge Barracks today, a cousin of the Goblin Thrall Soldier but with a damage bonus against buildings. So I build it, push it to rank 3, and summon 6,000 goblins, raising my green host to 12,000. Only I can run human wave tactics, since my transformation lifted the population cap that still binds everyone else, and another lord with this barracks could field these goblins only as cannon fodder, never in such numbers. Over the past days I've also bought 20 E-rank defense towers, and between them the Warden Comprehensive Defense System and the Protective Shield. The territory's defense has leapt. With the declaration of war order loose, defense matters more than ever, and I wonder whether anyone teleporting in could even find my territory now that it's a territory space, since failing to find it would be a fine joke. Either way the walls have to hold, because I won't tolerate being robbed even in war space. I walk to the equipment manufacturing center and use the purple spirit blade design blueprint. The blacksmith shop and tailor shop are nearly idle now, only handling repairs and custom orders for citizens, while the center also runs research and development, so I staff it heavily, easy enough with the territory's swollen population throwing up more skilled talents by the day. Our rank 3 center tops out at gold tier gear, and the purple spirit blade falls right in range. Any missing materials bought from the system mall, the line capable of 500 blades a day at full tilt. For the next while, I'll list the blades in the trading hall, since gold tier gear sells dear, and bank the profit to fill the barracks quotas first. The mall recycles equipment too, but its prices run too low, so the trading hall wins. My panel reads empty again, the day's resources spent. But no matter, the snowball rolls again tomorrow. How delightful. I take out the dragon egg and hatch it, the system handing me a young green dragon, S rank, and an 8 deficient hatchling that breathes poison dragon breath. Its power is set to climb as it grows. Cripple or not, it's wyvern-sized, mount enough for me. It has no name yet, and they say a dragon that awakens its true name undergoes a world-shaking change. But in any case, it's a dragon, full of prestige. After dinner, I lie on the big bed and open the channel. The talk runs as ever. Someone whining the friendly merchant tycoon's prosperity index jumped another 100 plus. Someone calling for 6 brave volunteers to raid me for a fortune. The usual circus. So I quietly post the Bronze Declaration of War Orders details. The channel scatters in panic. One lord swearing he only meant to flush out the bad apples. Another mourning the channel is no longer safe. Another shifting gears to ask where the thing farms so he can visit family. After a moment, I speak up. I tell the channel the order's still useful to me, so I won't sell. But I'll share where it farms, that killing enemy hero units of 2nd tier or higher carries a chance to drop one. Weak friends shouldn't try it, since powerful tribes stand behind those heroes, and as strength grows, the item won't stay scarce, so nobody need worry. The channel takes the point, agreeing strength comes first, since meeting family while weak only courts danger. And one lord laments you can't add friends on the world channel, only the regional channel, which means cross-region lords can't trade to support kin. I remember that's true, which makes the Declaration of War Order all the more vital since it searches by real name to teleport directly, a double-edged thing useful for reunions and revenge alike. The Order's arrival has pushed every lord to grow stronger again. Next morning after breakfast, I send the soldiers to grind monsters near the territory. And for the coming days, I'll leave the big tribes alone, only posting scouts to watch them while the rest level up at a distance. With griffins, the Azure Orchid Guard have no use for tunnel beasts, since griffins fly faster, range farther in vision, and find monsters more efficiently, and the griffins need the kills to level 2, so tunnel beasts become the goblins' exclusive ride. Since the transformation, the population refreshes far faster, and to handle the surge, Hanhei City's management has thrown up a wave of infrastructure. Farmhouses, restaurants, public bathhouses, public restrooms, shops,